I want to say double honors to all the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and push this word in truth and in sincerity. I want to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing this word across the four corners of the earth, and to the sincere aquathium that are listening and learning in silence in these last days. It's the DC Church, and we all here to prophesy, one, to prophesy and warn our brothers what's to come, and two, the downfall of Babylon, which is known as America the Great, okay? But the Lord is not going to do anything until he reveals those secrets to his prophets to come out here and give you forewarning. Verse 6. Because how are we going to give you warning if we're not revealed the secrets to be able to do so in the first place? You see? But the Lord, so that's also what you can look at as a fair chance. You see, you're able to hear this word, and now you took heed of it. Now, what you do after that, it depends on what the Lord has you doing it. You know?
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, and verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it?
So just in Isaiah 45, it also talks about the Lord creates evil, he creates darkness, but he also creates peace as well. He controls all these things, roughly paraphrased. I feel like I just butchered that. But the whole point is the fact that nothing happens unless the Lord allows it to happen. He's in control of all these things. So it's a crazy thing to not want to be on the side of a power that has that much power. Keep going in that.
Amos 3 and 7, surely the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
Right, so that's how you're able to get forewarning of what's going on, and what mindset you got to be in to be able to carry out in Babylon. Because yes, we're still living in flesh. We're still living in a time where we have to use the world but don't abuse it. But because of that, there's always going to be a conflict between your spirit and your flesh. But you have the prophets out here to give you warning of what you need to be doing, more so moving by fruit of the spirit and not of the flesh. And if you're not going to take heed to those things, it's more than likely because you're just too caught up in the world. You're too caught up in the darkness and deep sleep. You see? Let me get Isaiah 29 and 10.
Okay. 29:10. Got it. This Isaiah 29 verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
Yeah, that's going to be the people that's going to be continuously in the world that don't have the spirit of understanding. The Isaiah 6 and 9 effect. They can hear this word, but they're not going to understand it. This like Ezekiel 2 and 7 as well. Whether they hear or whether they forbear. We're going to put this word out regardless. But whether you take heed or not, that's going to be depending on the lot that you're in. You see? Keep going.
It says, and close your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed.
Read Psalms 37. Read Psalms 37 all the way through.
This Isaiah 29 verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes.
Right, that's the spirit. I was listening to the Brother Dequar's video earlier, talking about the spirit of stupid. About the people that's left in stupidity because they're in deep sleep. They don't understand what's going on in the world. Even though you have the prophets coming out here, let you know everything that's going on.
That's right. Read
but they can't hear it because the Lord has hardened their hearts.
Read Psalms
has closed their ears, closed their eyes, so now they can't be able to understand things that's going on.
That's what's happening with me. Not that evil.
It's Romans chapter 11.
Can you
verse
read
7,
37 for me, bro?
It says, what then Israel have not obtained that which you seek it for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blind.
Right, because this is for the elect to receive. It's not for everybody to receive. We're going to be able to understand what things is going on. The visions is out there. The prophecies is coming about. But the elect have obtained it, but the rest were blinded. That's the reason why they're still walking around in a zombified state. Wandering in the congregation of the dead.
Right.
Because they're staying in the world. They're too focused on the distractions that's put out there. And Book of Judith perfectly explains why they do that. Because of the simple fact that when you aren't harnessing your power, when you aren't focused on the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, now you're going to be too focused on in the world. That keeps you further away from the Lord. And that's why this world, this society is structured the way it is. Keep you distracted. To keep you focused on entertainment. They don't want you to focus on the Lord.
Can you read Psalm 37 all the way through?
Hold on. More?
Bro.
Step back.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Just step back.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Step back.
You
interrupted too close, bro.
Okay, can you do Psalm 37?
Nah, he in the middle of something, bro. You gonna have to wait.
Keep going.
Romans chapter 11 and verse 8. According as it is written, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear until this day.
You got it, bro. So they're not going to be able to hear this message when it's put out there. Why? Because the Lord has blinded them. It wasn't for them to receive this message. Keep going. Jeremiah 4.
I do believe the Lord
Jeremiah
came
4?
back and talked to him.
I believe we're talking about the Sabbath children.
Got you right here.
Jeremiah 4 verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
Right, when it comes to wise to do evil, when it comes to have a blueprint, when it comes to actually drawing up a whole blueprint to how to rob a bank, Jake a genius at that. Jake is a genius when it comes down to robbing somebody, trying to get somebody out the way. When it comes down to killing and robbing, you know, that's Esau's true identity. That's his culture. That's his nature. But he's put it on our people to be the accused of our brethren, to put the bottle to our neck. And when we're doing it, he's trying to accuse us for the reason why, and say that we're the reason why we're not the Lord's people. Okay? But at the end of the day, that's his culture. They're the stupid people that's going to keep on following the daddy Esau. But we, that's supposed to be, well, Lord willing, we're part of that number of the hopeful elect, want to follow what Yahweh has commanded us to do. We don't want to be sottish. We don't want to be in the ways of wandering the congregation of the dead. What the Lord has commanded us to do, Luke 14, 23.
Yep.
Because the Lord has compelled us, not compelled us, he's called us to come out here and do his work. He's called us to compel our people to come inside here. To be able to compel your people. When you look at the word compel, it is to threaten. Because if you don't listen and you don't hearken to what the word of the Lord is saying, he will destroy you.
So
and that's not our words, that's the Lord's word.
The Lord people come in earth in
This
Psalm
is Luke
37.
chapter 14 and verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servants, go out into the highways and their edges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
So the highways and the hedges is what you see right now. We're at the chief place of concourse, you know, the busiest place where you see a lot of people walking around. We're here to compel our people. Meaning it's not going to be for everybody that's walking by, but for the elect that have the ears to hear. They're going to be the people that's going to actually be reeled in by the scriptures that's used as bait. You see? Now they're going to be inquiring, asking questions on, okay, what more do I need to know in order to obtain salvation? Even the scripture says, don't worry about the faithless people that don't actually believe. Don't worry about how they're going to go out. You just need to worry about your salvation. That's why when people come up and they always asking about the white man, always asking about Esau. They don't even ask about the heathen. It's always asking about Esau, loving their oppressors, you know? But the Lord has told us to come out and compel our people to come in, that the house may be filled. Okay? You going to read it one more time?
No. This is Luke 4 and 23. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai said unto the servant, go out into the highways and the edges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
Right, so also us doing this, we're getting the blood off our hands. Us doing this is also, we pray for that, that we're going to have a covering from the pestilences to come, from the natural disasters to come, from civil unrest, from Jacob's trouble, from martial law, ultimately from those missiles, because salvation and destruction is going to go hand in hand. We just don't want to be on the side of the missiles hitting us. But if you want to be the covering, you want to have the Lord's covering, you're going to have to take heed to what his mouth is saying. And that's the prophet that's out here giving you this message out here. That's going to be through your YouTube videos. That's going to be through certain conversations, but that's also mostly going to be out here every Saturday. Some brothers on Fridays, some go out, sometimes we go on the midweek camp. But we go in different places, and the most places where you see busiest, where you see a marketplace and people are walking around to let these people know to come in. Okay? You got something?
Yeah. This is Proverbs chapter 1. And this is Proverbs chapter 1 and starting at verse 20. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse.
Just like I mentioned earlier on our highways and hedges, this right here is the chief place of concourse. The wisdom crieth out through the mouth of the prophets, who the Lord has ordained to come out here and speak his words, to operate in his business. You know, to fill the house. Basically just like when Noah was doing when he was building the ark. He was condemning the world, letting the people know, hey look man, rain is coming. They didn't know what he was talking about, they never seen it before. But it's going to come to a point in time where you need to hearken before that door closes. It's going to be the same thing here, but the Lord's going to take these men off the streets. You're not going to be able to find this knowledge anymore. So you want to seek the Lord while he is now, to be able to, while we're crying out in the chief place of concourse, while you can hear wisdom, while you can hear knowledge, to be stabilized. Keep going.
Proverbs 1 and 21. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates. In the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
So how long are you going to be drunk in Babylon? How long are you going to continue walking in darkness, wandering in the congregation of the dead? Keep going.
It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you.
Right. At that point in time, that's when it will behoove you to listen to the prophets. Listen to his counsel. Listen to the words that's actually being put out there to you. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way you're going to be able to obtain the knowledge to be able to obtain your salvation if it's in your life to be able to do so. Okay? But at the same time, a lot of people don't want to do that. At this point, go get Sirach 2 and 3 real quick. Matter of fact, you can get it. You can stay in my Proverbs. Because right there, when it says turn to my reproof, when we're trying to give you correction, that's a true form of love. We love you enough to give you hard truths, but we understand that we're risking rejection because of that. We understand that we stand for a truth that's going to risk friendships. We understand the fact that we have a certain level of obedience that's going to be misunderstanding to the world. Why? Because they don't have the same vision that we have. They don't follow the same doctrine that we have. So we can't expect them to follow the same things that we follow. But when we eat this roll, the bitter and the sweet, we now have an accountability. We have a role to do in terms of come out there as prophets to deliver that message to you. If we don't, now that blood is on our hands. So that's the bitterness of a prophet, honestly. You know, when the fact that we have to go out and do these things and preach to a rebellious people, because we know they're going to buck up. We know they're going to reject. But we do this for that remnant that we know that's going to fill the house. All right?
2 and 3?
Yeah.
Sirach 2 verse 3, cleave unto him. And okay. Sirach 2 and 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Right, so when the Lord sent his prophets out in the streets and he's telling you to cleave unto him, that's when you're supposed to do it. When you hear the prophets out here prophesying, you're supposed to listen to the message, especially if it's for you to listen to. If it resonates with your spirit, now you're inclined to want to listen, and then you want to come out there, not cheerleaders, but actually want to be a participant. You actually got to work for this thing. You don't want to follow the Christian doctrine where it's sitting here saying that we're already saved. That's not true. And that keeps you in a state of stagnant, and that keeps you in a state of realizing you don't have to, well, in a state of stupor, as I mentioned earlier, you're not going to do anything that's going to be worthy of salvation because you already believe you've been saved. That's not the type of mindset you want to follow. You want to cleave into wisdom. Matter of fact, get that.
Yep. Sirach 6 verse 23, give ear my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel.
And again, that's going to come from the prophets that he's put on the highways and hedges.
And put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chains.
So you're enslaved to wisdom, and there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with being enslaved to being a wise man? To actually be able to be a prudent man that can see things before it happens. That way you can make the best possible decision to be able to get out of it. Only the wicked person is going to be in the world, and people just too distracted to be able to see what's coming. Now they're caught up in the mess to come. Imagine not knowing what the MOTB is, and now all of a sudden you're taking it because you listen to their double language. It's for your security. It's for your convenience. It's so you don't lose your car keys or whatever. You lose your debit card and credit card. Now it's all in your hand. We don't want to be that person that don't have knowledge of what this thing actually is. That's why it's dangerous that you have other camps out there teaching the fact that it's not the RFID. See here, the fact that it's not that. So now they're teaching their people to take those things, and now you just committed a sin you can't repent from because you didn't have knowledge. That's why Hosea talks about my people perish due to lack of knowledge. That's one of those things you do want to know about. All right, go back in the Proverbs 1. Mm-hmm.
This is Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not into thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Another example I like to point out is when Solomon asked for wisdom and knowledge to be able to lead his people. And then he was bestowed everything else. You see? That's the type of mindset we have to follow. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean into him. And even in Matthew, it talks about the fact that when you don't worry about the necessities you need in life, the Lord created you. He knows what you need. He knows what you lack. That's the reason why you send up a prayer, and the Lord's going to be able to give you those things. But you got to believe that he can give you those things, you see? But trust in the Lord with all your heart, not lean to your own understanding, you see? A lot of the times people don't get it, so they try to interpret the message their own way. They try to think that, okay, this is what it actually means, because they don't have understanding of what it actually is. And that's how other doctrines and other things start to come about, okay?
This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded.
After calling somebody so many times, man, eventually you're going to stop calling, brother, if they're not picking up. That's just simple as that. I'm not going to keep calling you if you're going to keep, just forwarding my call, just slapping my hand away every time I stretch out my hand. But really, you're just slapping the Lord's help. He's offering, and you're saying, nah, I'm good. I'd rather keep decorating my hell here in Babylon. I'd rather try to live YOLO. I'd rather try to live my best life here because they don't have a vision from afar off to be able to see that there's better things ahead. Keep going.
It says, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof.
Again, as I mentioned before, that's true love. When people actually try to correct you on something because they want to set you on the right path, they don't want to see you go astray. But the people that actually just walk you, let you just go about your way, being led astray, they don't really care about you. Okay? That's why you actually want to take the chastening of the Lord as something serious. Because although it's disciplinary, although it may not feel good, it's letting you know that you're one of mine, and this is not the right way for you. You don't have peace because the Lord keeps showing you that this is not the direction you're supposed to go. You see? Yes,
Yeah, just off your point, I'm going to keep reading in Sirach 6. Sirach 6:25 says, bow down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds. Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
And that made me think of Romans 12. When you're giving your body as a living sacrifice, when it's talking about searching and seeking, that means you actually have to take the time and seek it out. Whatever time that you put towards this, that means you're sacrificing time, not putting towards another. And that's not a bad thing. Whatever it is that you were doing as an old man, you now have something that you're doing as a new man. And that's what's replacing that time. You're giving your body as a living sacrifice because, yeah, your flesh wants to do those things. But that's why it says the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. But wants to keep you preoccupied on things of the world. But really, the spirit is saying that, this is what I need to do. This is more profitable for me. With the Proverbs, with the 30 and 8, feed me with food convenient for me.
This is Sirach 6:28. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and thou shalt be turned to thy joy. Then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory.
Even back in Sirach 2, where it talks about you will be increased in thy last end. Why? Because you cleave unto wisdom. When you go to Isaiah 33:6, it says wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the time. But first, in order to get that, you have to be able to fear the Lord. Why? Because you fear what's going to happen. So you're taking heed to those things and say, you know what? Because I fear of getting this spanking, getting this beating, and being destroyed by this nuclear fire, I'm going to listen to what the Lord told me to do. I don't care how much it hurts to do so.
Well, yeah, that exactly. And I'm glad Ganan said to keep going because it said, for at the last. And it started this verse at for at the last, meaning everything we just read prior, you're going to have to go through these different situations. And we were talking about it yesterday. Once you have your senses exercised, now you can actually say, in these situations, I've actually applied wisdom. So for at the last, meaning you'll be able to look back and you'll say, wow, I went through all of this X, Y, and Z, and now look how much I've grown. For at the last, it says, thou shalt find her rest, meaning her peace, and that she shall be turned to thy joy. So everything we're going through right now, we're supposed to be, we're supposed to be going through different trials and tribulations. The Lord has all of us with a particular walk. And then we go through these experiences and use wisdom. And now in the end days in Jacob's trouble, we'll be able to use that wisdom and say, okay, I've been here before. This is uncomfortable. However, the Lord got me through it before. Let me rely on the wisdom that I've now gained for this situation. That's the importance of wisdom right now. And like the brother is saying, getting used to that correction. Correction is a good thing. You got to think about the end result of that correction and of gaining wisdom.
That's your pop. It's like the brother was saying. Practice it now so when the time comes, you'll be able to utilize it. You don't want to be using it at the last minute trying to, procrastinate, and all of a sudden now you're studying for a test that you got tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you expect to be able to utilize those things. You never practiced it. Yeah. And even in sports, they say practice how you play. Practice how you want to play.
Yeah.
You want to.
Exactly.
If you actually want to play fast, you got to practice fast.
Right.
You want to practice certain moves a certain way that you want to perform. That's all it's saying.
This is Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 3. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck Write them upon the table of thine heart. You know, let the mercy and grace of this truth that Yahweh Shem Shai has revealed unto you, you know, be binded upon your mind, man, upon your lob, your heart. You know, because when you do, then in every situation you will apply wisdom and this understanding that has been able for you to cleave unto. You know, that way you can have longevity in this world, you know, to be able to stand firm and boldly in the time of trouble that we're about to come into, you know.
That's beautiful.
Come. This is Proverbs 1:25. It says, "But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh."
Right. They hate correction. Ultimately, they hate the Lord. Because again, these words that's coming from us is not from us, it's from the Lord. So when you slap our hand, you slapping what the Lord is telling you to do. And that's offense. You want to do your best to offend less. You don't cleave unto wisdom. You don't cleave unto the fact that, okay, this is what I got to do to obtain salvation. Well, then you're just leading your life to destruction. Deuteronomy 30 talks about choose life. Any other direction, you're choosing death. Grace period be a stumbling block into you, okay? Because a lot of times the people are going to have this grace period, again, have that Christian mindset, but just being too much in the world, living in abroad, and now that's why they're caught up in a deep sleep and stagnant. Going back to what I was saying before, you know, they're not going to be paying attention to the words of the prophet that's coming out here, because they're going to be too busy trying to live their life, trying to establish their life here in Babylon, in America. You're doing too much, and that's the reason why you can't pay attention to what the Lord is telling you. You know, a lot of times when they say, I say decluttering brings clarity. You're doing something too much in your life, now all of a sudden you can't pay attention to what's going on, okay? Because you're too worried paying attention to other things.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15. I'm going to start at the top. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai.
Right. He put in our mouths to come out here and let you guys know what's going on. Talking to your Negroes, your Hispanics, and Native Americans, but not just them, the elect of them. Because 2/3 are going to be destroyed who won't hearken into these words. Keep going.
And cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true.
It's faithful and true. Everything that's written in the scriptures, if you can receive it, is true. There is no contradictions. There is nothing going against one another. These words are written and it's going to happen. That's the reason why we believe it so much, because the Lord put the Spirit upon us to believe it.
It says, fear not the imagination against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Right, the incredulity are those that are unfaithful, who don't believe. And a lot of those people, just like when it goes to 1 Peter 4:4, if you can go to that real quick, a lot of those people are going to have, you can go, it's going to have you, they're living that kind of lifestyle. They're going to be living the way they want to live. And they're going to be confused about why you live in the lifestyle you're living, so they're going to try to get you to come back and join them. You know, dang, why this man not doing this no more? This person, those people are going to be the unfaithful that's going to be living this life. And a lot of times when you turn to the Lord, just like at the top of Sirach 2, they're gonna what's the word we're looking for? When you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You see, when you turn to the Lord, there's going to be more and more opportunities to get you to go off. But you got to be able to have discernment to realize, this thing wasn't happening to you before. Why? Because you're probably in the world already. Satan has no need to go after his own. He already loves you. You're already doing what he wants you to do. But now when you're trying to go against it, now you're going to be tested. Let me see if your faith is sincere. Let me see if what you believe is actually really true when certain obstacles come your way. You see? So now all these certain temptations are coming your way, and it can be from your family. It can be from your friends. It can be from people that you love who think they have your best interests at heart. But one way to combat that is you got to know who your true family is. Because your true family are going to be the ones that have the same doctrine as you, that carry the same will as the Father and the Son. Yahweh Shem Shai. Those are the people that's going to keep you straight. Those are going to be people that's going to help you walk the straight line and keep focused on Yahweh Shai. But those, the ones that are unfaithful, they're going to be the ones that's going to try to get you to go back the other way. There you go.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 13. Shalom. 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 13 through 15 says, therefore, set thy house in order and reprove thy people, and comfort them that are bowed down, and renounce corruption. dismiss thy mortal thoughts, cast from thee the human burdens, put from thee thy weak nature, and lay aside thy troublesome thoughts, and hasten to flee out of this time. Proverbs 14 and 13, therefore set thy house in order.
Yeah, set thy house in order. Those that's laboring on the front lines with you, they have order, they have a hierarchy of things from your elder apostles, your bishops, all the way down to your office, the shariam, and the new people's coming in. The house is going to be in order. Everything is done in decency and order. But also set your house in order of the mindset of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. How things should be run based off what the scriptures are saying. Okay?
And reprove thy people.
Yeah, reprove our people. Basically let them know of what's good and what's bad, what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. Try to correct them and let them know, hey look man, that's wrong. You shouldn't be eating pork anymore. You shouldn't still be good in shape-ups. You shouldn't be eating the unlawful things. Whatever you can control, because we can't control in terms of the fabric and the clothes that we wear, but you can control on the days you're not working, when you have the Sabbath. These are things that you can also do just to prove your sincerity. Fasting, praying. When you're in trouble, calling on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and not relying on the shadow of Egypt. Those are things that's showing the fact that, okay, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is at the forefront of my mind and not everything else.
It says, and comfort them that are bound down and renounce corruption.
Right. Renounce corruption. We don't want to continue to live in these philosophies that's in Babylon. That's what it means to come up out of it, my people. We'll flee out of the midst of us. Because we want to flee out of the ways of Babylon. We don't want to continue to living based off their philosophies and their doctrine. Because that way is going to lead you down to death, basically. It's going to lead you to actually not following Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And again, back in Judah, you're just fulfilling what they want to do with you. Okay? They're going to keep you away from your power most of all.
It says, dismiss thy mortal thoughts and cast from thee the human burdens, put from thee thy weak nature.
Yeah, putting off that weak nature is you're putting off the carnal man. All those habits and all those deeds of that old man, you're killing those things because that's what identifies you as that old man. Once you slowly kill off those habits and you kill off those deeds, now all of a sudden the old man is gone. You see? But that's going to have to be something that's going to happen every single day. Because until we're delivered, because we're living in fleshly bodies, so this is a battle we're going to have to keep on facing. So you got to keep in mind the fact that, when I say gone, I mean like, okay, take it day by day. Something that I could have done carnal today, I decided to think spiritually. Give yourself a pat on the back for that, because now you're actually cleaving into wisdom instead of actually following that carnal mindset. You see?
It says, 2nd Edges 14 and 15, and lay aside thy troublesome thoughts and hasten to flee out of this time.
Yeah, those troublesome thoughts are going to be the things that's going to keep you going contrary to what we're supposed to be doing that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai has commanded us to do. Okay? Those troublesome thoughts is going to be those thoughts of the flesh that's actually going to keep you from growing, from actually following more of the spirit. Okay?
Yeah, I get like in Wisdom of Solomon that the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, which the mortal means, it's going to die, it's going to pass away. So the thoughts of mortal men are nothing but misery. Your carnal flesh is, I can't do this shit, man. That's the carnal flesh talking. Your carnal flesh doesn't actually want the victory. It's your spirit that wants the victory overall.
Just a little more. 2nd Edges 14 and 16 says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. 2nd Edges 14 and 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter.
And I feel bad for the people that don't believe that. When you read 2nd Edges 15 and you read the sedition among men, when you read the civil unrest, shoot, some people might be victim of cannibalism. When you see these things, man, and you don't believe it, you're not going to be covered. Because you're trying to say that the Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is lying, basically. For you not to believe these words, man, it's just fake. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? So those are going to be the people that's not going to take it as seriously as they should. Even people that's in the truth. That's why when we first preach and we actually exhort, we talk to ourselves first. And we're also doing that because we're going to be judged according to things that we're preaching as well. So if we're going to be judged for those things, we got to make sure that we're following. We got to make sure we're following what we're preaching, practicing, so to speak. You don't want to, like Paul said in 1 Corinthians 9, I believe, you don't want to disqualify yourself from the race. You disqualify yourself by not practicing what you preach. You disqualify yourself by pointing fingers with a dirty hand, being a contradiction, being a hypocrite, basically.
If I may say too, this is why the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, is telling you right now, to put off that weak nature. Because the times we're coming into is about to be a time which we have never seen before. Greater evils are about to hit this place. which end, if you haven't been applying the, exercising your faith, faith is going to be a hard task to use in a time which end you've never seen. It's going to get worse than you have ever have been through. You have seen, different little killings on the street. But what if when it's at your doorstep? How are you going to apply wisdom in that time?
Got it. And you want to pray, man, because none of us is really actually, at least some people that's probably been in the military, has been in wars and things like that too. But none of us really actually seen dead bodies, dude. Now imagine you see a lot of those things out in the road, man. You can't be too emotional in the world, man, because some of those may be people you knew that was in the world. And that's why you got to pray that the Lord hardens your hearts. Hardens your minds, that when you see these things, that I can still keep pushing forward. Because a lot of those things can help people, make people fall out. Because they're being too emotional with the world. That's why when you become too attached and you can't let certain things go, I believe it was last camp when the brother Yaga brought it up. Remember Lot's life. It's set as a memorial of not to look back. But also the fact that you don't want to be too caught up in the world. That's why you want to pray to be sober-minded. Have a steadfast mind. That way you'll be able to abide in the ministry knowing the things that's going to come. That's why you have to visualize everything that's going on too. Because you can read the book, but when you visualize, like, hold on. Dead bodies, people eating civil unrest, stats, people breaking in houses, trying to still do all these things, man. Rape, murder, all these things are going to be happening when all hell breaks loose. And you want to be covered by the Lord, not by the shadow of Egypt. Because even when you rely on Egypt, you're the one that's still going to be caught up in slavery when you take that sea hit. Now you took the sea hit and you still can't eat. You want to eat certain things, but they shut your funds off, so you can't even eat that. Now you can't drink water there. You've been a bad boy. You haven't hearkened into our ways. You still following Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So, matter of fact, if you already took you already done it in the first place. I mean, we just put that out there right there. But the fact that you want to follow the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you're not going to be able to interact with society. You're not going to be able to do the simple things that you used to do when the world was in security.
That social credit score going to drop.
Exactly. They had an episode in Black Mirror, what they called is a likability score. And every time you do something that they don't approve of, that score drops. And you don't have rights to go into certain things. You can't spend your money and things is being shut off.
This is Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, when wisdom enter into thy heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee.
Discretion shall preserve thee, and understanding shall keep thee. That's why when he brought up the fact that their wisdom and knowledge, that's what's going to be able to keep you stabilized. The fact that when you're able to apply those things, that's what's going to help you out. Because it's the spirit that's going to help you navigate through all the chaos. That's why you want to practice relying on trusting the spirit now, even during the things that's happening right now. Because when all hell breaks loose, all hell breaks loose, you're going to be able to use wisdom. Because we relied on those precepts. We've been studying. We've been listening. We've been actually walking according to what the precepts told us to do. So now when you're doing those things, it's easy to do so. All right? Not saying it won't be a complicated time. It's going to be difficult. But because of our faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that's going to ease us. That's what's going to renew our strength and restore us. That's what's going to help us get through. That's what's going to help us not get weary in well-doing. All right?
If I may say too, bro, like the scripture says, once wisdom enter into thy heart, or thy mind, then knowledge shall become pleasant unto thee. This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding shall be the stability of our time. Not these different doctrines that the world taught us. Not saying that only the Old Testament is canon and not the New Testament. Not saying that the Lord, is accepting everything like how these Christian churches are saying. We start to understand that the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's going to keep us stable and it is the strength for our salvation is this doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which in the world has disallowed, But through him being that chief cornerstone, we were able to be builded upon the things that are pleasant unto our soul. And once you start to use discretion, applying this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that's when you shall be preserved from the things that are to come. Okay? And once you start to understand what you're using, then you shall be kept through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Got it.
Yeah, this is Psalm 91, verse 14. Because he hath set his love upon me, Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation.
That's beautiful right there. And they, yeah, you gotta read that one more time. And there they tell you the name isn't important though. One more time.
Psalm 91 and 14. Because he hath set his love upon me,
And you prove your love by your works, that which shows your faith that's in him. Keep going.
therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name.
Right now we're in a lower state, but we're going to be at a higher state. It's going to be that transition happening soon. That's why they say Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. We're going to have our position. But we got to continue to wait on the Lord to be able to establish that. Remember, he's the ones that sets up and puts down. All right? And right now we're in that transition period of it happening right now. But it starts through the mouth of the elect. It starts through our mindsets right now, building that kingdom right now. It starts in your mind. We're out there to let you know what's to come. So when these things do come, we're going to usher in Yahweh Shai to be able to do what he's going to do. All right?
It says, I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him. And
imagine calling the wrong name. You think he's going to answer? The other mind are going to always say, man, look, if you keep calling me and you calling me the wrong name, I'm going to block you. It come to a point in time I'm not listening to you. People that's praying to Jesus, the Lord doesn't hear your prayers. It's not reaching him because you don't know his name. Only when you call the name Yahweh or Yahweh Shai through the Ruach HaKodesh are you going to be able to have your prayers heard and answered. All right?
I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him.
That's what it mirrors Sirach too, where it talks about when you lean into him, he's going to be able to increase you. Whenever you're not making, when it says don't make haste in a time of trouble, why? Because you're out, how about Shai is with you. You got faith. The fact that, okay, look, I know this situation wants me to panic, but I'm going to rely on the Lord, and that's what's going to get me through the situation. Why? Because the Spirit is what's guiding me. It's making me calm. It's giving me peace. It makes me have a still mind to a point where now I'm not trying to do things off of my panicky mindset. All right? No, we did on that one.
Last verse. Verse 16. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation.
This is Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 20. It says, hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end.
Right. Proverbs 22:4 tells you that when you get that wisdom and knowledge, when you receive that instruction, now you're a prudent man who's able to foresee certain things and avoid the dangers that's to come. You see? That's how they go hand in hand. But if you're not going to hearken unto the counsel that's being given into you, now you're just making decisions off your own, and you're not following Proverbs 3. You're not trusting the Lord on your heart. You're trusting yourself. Now you're trying to go off what you think is going to be happening, not what the Lord commanded you to do. Okay? But only when you actually listen to the Lord, that way you'll be able to be preserved in the last end. All right?
Verse 21, Proverbs 19:21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that shall stand.
Right. You have your ways in your own mind that you think is going to go, but at the end of the day, the Lord controls all things. That's why when people give the illusion of free will, it's not a real thing. If the Lord controls all things, he controls all your steps. And how do you think you have free will to do what you do? It doesn't make sense that way. Either the Lord controls it or do you control it? Which one is it? It can't go both ways. Okay? So that's why you got to continue praying to the Lord. Hey, look, please have this spirit upon me to make the right moves. I don't want to sit there and be a person I don't want to be a 2/3. You know? So I don't want to do things that's going to make me be like a 2/3. You know? You don't want to kill off those things. Oh, was it on that one?
Just one more. Proverbs 19 and 23. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, tendeth to life, and he that have it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. And you know, like you were just saying, you know, in these times, you're going to need this wisdom. You're going to need the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That way, when it comes down to it, this application and abiding in the truth, abiding in the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you know, it shall cover you. And in the time of evil, you should still have these thoughts on your mind, man. You know, while everyone is being compassed roundabout, you know, when the truth starts to come in, you know, kicking in doors, you know, Lord's willing, we're covered and not seen, man. Or if we have to go into concentration camps, right, we still have that wisdom, knowledge, understanding of what to do in those times, you know. Even if you have to be what? Roaming in the wilderness.
You know, you understand that, like in Proverbs 18:10 tells you, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and are safe. So the safety comes in with what? Applying this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That way, in the times of evil, you know, it becomes a lot more accessible as far as to, because the land's gonna be buried through faith, man. You know, and this wisdom is gonna be, it's built upon faith.
Yeah, a lot more accessible, and then also it just becomes easier.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because it's like a sport. Any sport, when you first trying it out, it seems hard. Let's just take a very, very easy example, like a free throw. If you've never actually held a basketball before and took a shot, your first time standing at the free throw line and shooting, you're gonna do anything. You'll probably just do a push shot. You don't really know how to do it. But the more and more you practice, the more and more you learn, the more you get corrected, the better your form comes, and now it becomes automatic. Because you practice, it becomes a habit. You know, and that habit, or it becomes a pattern, and a pattern creates habits. It's the same thing with wisdom. You gotta keep using the wisdom over and over. And that's the reason why it talks about how wisdom tries you. Because sometimes at first you go through a situation and it can be hard to use wisdom. Using wisdom may be the hard thing to do in that moment. But that's what you have to do. That's your trial. That's your temptation right there. Are you actually going to utilize wisdom in that situation? Or are you going to take the easy route? Like, as an example, easy example, the nigga that threw the football at us a few weeks ago. It's like 10 of us up here. We could have rolled up on that nigga, but that's not the spiritual thing to do, obviously. We out here to just teach the word. We're not carnal men, but that's the whole point. We're using wisdom. We're staying spiritual. We're not worried about them. We put the ball somewhere else and we just ignore them. That's the spiritual move to make. Now, if you don't know wisdom, for a lot of other niggas in the world, they might run up on them, try to start a fight with them. Yo, why you throw the football, blah, blah, blah. It's a carnal thing to do. It's a carnal thing to do because it's not using wisdom. But the more and more you utilize wisdom, the easier it becomes, especially in Jacob's trouble. You're not going to be able to just tap into the spirit in Jacob's trouble and make the wise decision, and you've never ever done it before. A lot of people are going to be out here relying on their carnal mindset. All they're going to know is throw hands. That's it. You know, you get in trouble, yeah, grab a gun. I got to fight. I got to yell. That's it. Like those people in the Chicago apartments a few days ago, guaranteed, like they said it, all you heard was yelling and screaming and hollering. But a spiritual person is gonna, the first thing is pray. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. I hear truths. People are yelling. Something is going on. I don't know what it is. I got my woman here. I got my children. I need to pray first. That's the very first step. And then you move from there, right? But people in this world, they don't have that mentality because they're not tapped into the spirit. I got you. This is Isaiah 33:6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Right. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So first you got to fear the Lord. Then you'll obtain wisdom and knowledge, and that will be the strength of your salvation. But just like the brother was saying, it's a repetitive thing. You got to keep using it over and over and over again. I don't care how much you feel like you're repeating the same things, but that's what makes it actually come natural, because you're going over it again. And who knows, reading the same thing over and over again, you might have a different perspective of how to explain it. The same meaning of what it means, but another way of explaining it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be reaching different people coming from different walks. So some people are going to hear this way and they like that way of explaining it, like this way of explaining it. But as long as the same message is being put out there, that's what's important. You see? But in order to, you got to hearken unto wisdom for that, you know? But if you're too focused on the world, just like the brother had mentioned earlier, you're going to be put in dire straits to test your sincerity of your faith. So you're going to be put in a situation where it's like, okay, this obstacle's in my way. Am I going to recall on wisdom? Am I going to call on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? Or, matter of fact, can you get me Isaiah 31?
This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children,
Yeah,
saith
woe is
the Lord.
destruction. Talking about the rebellious children, the people that we have to go out there and prophesy to, like it talks about in Ezekiel, when he ate the whole roll and he's supposed to go prophesy to the house of Israel. You know, the bitter and the sweet. You know, when it comes to actually, and then just another point that you mentioned earlier, when Paul did it in Acts 20, where he hasn't shunned to give you the whole gospel, he basically just fulfilled what happened in Ezekiel. Doing things that happened in the Old Testament, but a lot of people don't like to follow those things. And this here is happening in the New Testament. You You see, it just lets you know that things in the Old Testament, it's not done away with. He fulfilled that by being a watchman. I'm watching you, and I seen what you was doing. I'm correcting you, and this is what you should be doing. And he did that perfectly. He didn't care how it sounded. He didn't care if he lost friends because of it. He didn't care if I lost some affection because these people liked me at first, but now because I'm telling them what the Lord wants, and now they don't like me no more because they're too in the world. Hey, look, you received the message now. The blood is off my hands. You see?
Continuing on, Isaiah 31, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me.
Right, take counsel not from the prophets out there in the highways and hedges that's trying to give you counsel, let you know what to do, because what does it say? Do nothing without counsel, right? So we're trying to give you this information and you just slap our hand because you don't want to hear it. But you rather do what? Keep going.
It says, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
Right. They walk into Egypt to strengthen themselves. Like say for example, when civil wrestling happens, a carnal man think I'm gonna go get a gun. I gotta take care of myself and that's just it. But they're not even having Yahweh Bashmiel which are in the forefront of their mind. I'm not saying anything is wrong with having one, but if that's your first thought, the first thing you want to rely on that rather than relying on the Lord, that just shows that you're a carnal man. Again, the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. We got to rely on things spiritual. We can pray. That's when we get the answer to do those certain things, though. We don't do anything without counsel. And who's our counsel? Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. But he also has sent brotherhood for men around you who could have been through certain situations that can give you advice on how to go through it. Hey, look, man, I've been through this before. Here's how you should go about that. And the Lord put those men around you for a reason. There is no coincidence.
It says, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
All right, it just showed you that right here, just proving that Egypt is unreliable. But this is what you want to trust in. This is an unreliable source. That's why when you get Isaiah 36:6, you're gonna rely on the Pharaoh. You're gonna rely on the shadow of Egypt, and all of a sudden, that's gonna be your shame that's gonna be revealed. Because you're gonna realize that, damn, I knew I shouldn't listen to this nigga. I knew I shouldn't listen to this nigga. But at the end of the day, now you got yourself caught up because you didn't want to hearken into the prophets that came and told you what to do.
Isaiah 36:6 says, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, wherein if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it.
And that lets you know that it's unreliable. You're leaning on the hand. A broken reed, that's a stick. If you're leaning on it, all of a sudden it pierces your hand. Now, all of a sudden, when you think about relying on the shadow of Egypt, relying on Pharaoh, now look at Babylon and look what's coming out, the MOTB. Now you relied on that thing to be able to give you security. Now that pierced your hand, and now look what happened. Now you can't eat. Now you, just like I mentioned earlier, now they shut off your funds. Now you're branded by this man. Now you're enslaved to him. And now you're not a Yahweh Bashmiel Shai anymore because you now branded yourself of a man of Esau. You are of this devil now. All right? Read that one more time.
Isaiah 36:6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, wherein if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him.
Right, so that's why in the beginning when you go back to Isaiah 30 at the top, it says, woe to the rebellious nation who relies on the shadow of Egypt, roughly paraphrasing. Because that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to rely on an unreliable source and you're going to fall victim to it. All right?
This is Sirach 2, verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon for him? That called upon him.
Looking at the generations of old, these accounts are set for us to be able to follow. It's set for us to be able to read this, and it builds our faith like, oh, okay, so this situation has happened, now we know what to do when this situation comes, you know? So we're supposed to follow that same example, even if it's not the same exact situation. There's a certain mindset that's being carried out throughout those accounts that we can follow as well that helps us go with that same conclusion.
Yeah, exactly. And like the brother's going into very perfectly, he's explaining it well. We believe in these words and the things that we read in all the stories, and we're finding faith in them because we see that the Lord is reliable. That's the thing. It's not just reading it and then we're like, oh, okay, and then it's just done and we close the book. The Lord is actually putting us all through different situations. And then we read a scripture like Sirach 10, look at the generations of old, and we're like, yo, matter of fact, the things we're reading has to be true because the Lord just worked something out for me. I called on his name, I was in trouble, and I remained faithful, and look what he did for me. Now, I'm actually in a better situation than I was before. And I didn't even know that I was going to be in that situation. Sometimes brothers lose jobs and things like that, and then they lose that job and get something way better. Just another easy example. But at the end of the day, we're putting our trust in what we find reliable. The world is going to find Egypt reliable, Trump, the government, eventually the microchip reliable. And whatever you put your value in, it's going to be made known. That's why the scriptures liken this word unto rubies and gold and silver, because that's money. Yeah, exactly. Right? Because everybody finds value in knowledge, but it's what kind of value, or what kind of knowledge, I'll say. You go to school, you get an engineering degree, and people are like, wow, you have a master's in engineering. You must make a lot of money. Why do they say that? Because of what you know, your knowledge. Your knowledge equals money. They find value in that money or the knowledge because it equals a lot of money. We find value in this. This is the true goal to us, and we see the real value in it. The world doesn't see it. So we find these words reliable. We find being faithful in the Lord to be fruitful, and that's going to be made manifest in Jacob's trouble. We're going to rely on these words and nothing else.
Just like you beautifully said, man, looking at the times of old, we can rely on those things based on the stories that's being told. Countless times over and over and over again, you can see that the Lord is reliable. So that should build your faith to see this is what I should follow. But when you look at here in Isaiah 30, and you look at Isaiah 36, it's letting you know that the Pharaoh, shadow of Egypt, is not reliable. So here you're giving accounts of what's reliable, and here you're looking at that he's not reliable. So which one are you going to follow? It's plain and simple to see if you have the ears to hear, and if you have the eyes to see. He's telling you, okay, that's not reliable, this is what you should follow, okay?
It's Isaiah chapter 36 and verse 7.
Yeah. Oh, this is just a decree to back up the shard that he was just bringing out his point on the riches of this wisdom, right?
Proverbs 3 and verse 13 and 14. It says, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
Yeah, the gain. That's what it's all about. The merchandise, the gain from these actual words. That's the true value that we find. You get that master's degree in whatever it is, people find the gain in that. Oh, you get a nice job. I have a nice job. I make 6 figures. I can buy it. Yeah, right. I can get a job and, provide some kind of security for my family. But we trust in this. This is going to be what's going to keep us secure, and Lord willing, we're going to be able to provide for our families in Jacob's trouble. Sure. All because of some words that were written down thousands of years ago. Yep. That's it. We're not looking at anything else. This is the only thing that's going to keep us safe. And you got to have the right names. That's why the brother was harping on that earlier. It's one thing to have the book and be like, I believe. You believe in what? Right. What names do you actually call on? Right? Because you can believe in the book, but then you have the wrong interpretation, you have the wrong names that you're calling on. You don't got the Holy Spirit. The Spirit got to be with you to have the proper understanding in the first place. So that's the first thing you got to pray for. Lord, please give me the Holy Spirit. Keep your Holy Spirit upon me. Please don't ever take it away from me. Increase me. Give me more knowledge. Please make me to rely on you and to always believe in you. Things like that. You got to be sincere with your prayers. Don't just pray for no reason just because you know you're supposed to be praying. Be genuine with your prayer. Ain't nobody else listening. It's you and the Lord. Kasab said it years ago. Eventually, you realize you just having a conversation with the Lord. Yeah. That's all it is, because it's not like you designate, all right, every time at 10 o'clock I'm going to pray. I mean, if you got a real strict schedule like that, sure. But you're going to come to find that you just, exactly, it's going to say, you're just praying without ceasing. When you pray without ceasing, you just having a regular conversation. That nigga look like Kevin Hart. Yo, that's crazy. Yeah. You just having a regular conversation though, I know, DC distractions. Go ahead, bro.
Just like the brother mentioned earlier, man. Just like how our wisdom is more precious than rubies and gold and all those things. Yeah, you can get a master's degree, but if you look at what a master's degree does for you now, you can barely even find a job with that. But yet you're relying on the shadow of Egypt, and he let you down. It's going to keep happening. History is going to keep repeating itself. You're going to have something. You're going to be able to try to get that. Some may have a job, some may not. But now, as you can see, AI is taking over now.
Hey, Ak, this is a country that doesn't offer you free health care. I'm talking. This country doesn't offer you free health care, and you gonna trust in this place?
Yep.
Every other country you can. This is the country where you can die on the street, man. You know what I'm saying? No free health care, and you got trust in this place? That baffles my mind, personally. You know?
Well, hold up, Aunt, but the Maxine Juicy Juice was free.
That was free though. That was free. Ain't shit else free but that.
You gotta pay attention to things like that, man. Because at the end of the day, if it's for their agenda, you see why it's put out there like that. You even got celebrities and all those things like that on commercials, football stars on commercials trying to promote Maxine Waters. You gotta get this, you gotta get this. And then even on their own website, they're talking about how bad it is or it doesn't work. But they still want to push it out there. You see?
Yeah, this is the book of Sirach. God damn, where was he? Oh, I'm just continuing on. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 11. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in the time of affliction.
Right. When we're, what is it, Hosea 5 and 15, and their affliction they seek me early. You know, when we're going through certain things, that's when we want to rely on the Lord. No matter how big or small those things are, they're just showing the fact that you rely on the Lord for everything that happens. That's why it says don't worry about nothing, praise for everything. You know, because that, no matter what, it just shows your sincerity of like, Lord, yeah, I'm coming to you for everything. And he loves it. He loves it because it shows your faith. It shows that you're not relying on everything else, and most of all, you're not relying on just yourself. You can't do it by yourself. And naturally, yeah, I'm a lone wolf person. I'm a lone kind of person like with myself, but I realize it doesn't work. It doesn't work in your life, man. You need people. More specifically, those that believe in the same doctrine as you, that follow the same will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know?
Yeah, they call it in the world, call it masterminding.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to being a businessman and being an entrepreneur, you have to mastermind. That's why you have different networking events, so you can be around like-minded individuals. You can learn something, gain connections, right? You switch contact information, and you guys share knowledge. That's the same thing happening right now. That's why the Lord gave us His brotherhood. We rely on the brotherhood. We rely on the Lord. Yeah,
and that's why it says also we know all things. It's not because one person just knows everything. As a body, we know all things.
That's right.
You see? One thing a brother may not know, another brother will know. One brother's good at history, some brother's good at medicine, some brother's good at the prophecy, some brother's good at the poetic parts. You know? It's just we rely on each other for those things. That's how iron continues to sharpen iron. You see? That's why we're put around each other as a family.
I was going to say, but ultimately, you know, we're all built upon the one, wisdom, which in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wisdom has shown us what is the riches of his words, man. Okay? So Proverbs 3 and 15 through 19, it says, she is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor.
Right, length of days. That's a big one too, man. Hey, that's the spirit, man. Length of days. I was meditating on that on my way up, on my drive up here this afternoon, man, coming up to camp. I was thinking about how Esau is one of the only nations that actually wants to live long. Jake is one of the nations that doesn't mind dying early. You know what I'm saying? But that's because things is flipped upside down. See, the people without the blessing want to live forever. The people with the blessing don't want to live forever. But they got the promise for it. All right? And it begins with that wisdom. Because where do you obtain the wisdom from, man? The book of life, man. And what happens when you leave the book of life? You die, like it says in Baruch 4. Okay, let's read that again, man.
Proverbs 13 and 15.
Because this wisdom right here ain't like the other wisdom of this world, man. This is the wisdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. There's a difference, you see? Because
it's good to say be fruitful and multiply.
Exactly. Hey, no, that's the spirit. Me and one of the other Sharian were talking about that on the side earlier, man. The scriptures do say be fruitful and multiply. The majority of our people don't want to have kids, man. You see a Judite couple, they be 35 damn near 40 years old, been together for 15 years, and don't want kids.
But I was talking in the spiritual sense as far as like passing the knowledge.
Oh yeah,
And that's
come.
how you wake up the elect.
Oh yeah, hey, that's deep, brother. Yeah, you're right, man. Being fruitful, multiplying, each one teach one, man. You know, hey, the love of Yahweh Shai is passing knowledge. You know, shoot, if you love your brother, what you gonna do? You're gonna tell him right from wrong, man. If you love your brother, you're gonna pull him to the side. You're gonna warn him, man. Warn him of what? The evil to come. That's why we make lessons that are very repetitive, because all the stuff that you see happening now in the news is nothing more than a precursor for trouble upon the tribes, man. I made, like the brothers mentioned, Chicago earlier. That's nothing more than a precursor of what's going to happen to the nation of Israel here in America, man. The difference is they ain't going to hold y'all for 12 hours and let y'all go. They're going to slaughter you where you stand, man. You know what I mean? But that's all a part of having the wisdom, man, to see that. Because the wisdom of what's coming. Hey, let's read that again, actually. Go ahead, bro.
This is Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 15 through 19.
Yep.
It says, she is more precious than rubies.
Right, so wisdom is more precious than rubies. And unlike diamonds, a ruby is actually a precious stone that has actual value. A ruby is way more, a diamond is not as rare as a ruby. You know, rubies are expensive. So it's worth more than rubies? Shit, how many brothers out here can afford a ruby, man? You know, or even find one at that, right? Go ahead.
It says, and all the things thou canst desire are not compared unto her.
Yeah, what are the things? What does Jake desire? Jake desires substance. You know, land, right? Cattle, mansions, right? Wives for the ability of multiplying yourself on earth. That's all substance, but it's still not compared to wisdom. Shoot. Hey, a little with righteousness is better than a lot of wickedness, man. A lot with wickedness. So no, having this wisdom is above all. You know, especially in these times, because in the kingdom we'll all have it. In the kingdom, every Israelite's gonna have it within them. So this is the most profitable thing to obtain right now, man. Ain't nothing more profitable than getting wisdom today, day and age in 2025, man. You know, even starting this late, so to speak, right? This late, you know. It's not really late because it's all the Lord's will, right? Go ahead, bro.
It says length of days is in her right hand.
Yeah, length of days is in her right hand. Hey, when you have wisdom, length of days it comes with it. You know, you ain't gonna be taken out quick. Why? Because you're gonna move right. Not only are you within the fear of the Lord, but you have enough wisdom to know how to move in general. You know, hey, because these Jake out here, for example, these niggas across the street, those are men of few days, man. Though you can look at them and tell that's the baser sort. Look, they just stand around all day. I know it's a Saturday, but these niggas be here on a Monday, man. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, man. You just know that they there. That's their spot, man. You know? They probably got the stones worn down right where they standing and shit. That's their spot. You know? They stand in the exact same. You know what I mean? Those are men of no substance. You know? They ain't working towards nothing, man. You got something? Hold on, let me grab that. Go ahead.
And it says, and in her left hand, riches and honor.
Right.
Her ways are way of pleasantness.
Right.
And all her paths are peace.
That's right. Because essentially at the end of the 24, man, when you get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all your heart's desires come with it anyway. The Lord said that. He said, I'll give you your heart's desires, man. What? Hey, look at King Solomon's walk, man, which we know through reincarnation is Yahweh Shai, right? What did he asked for the wisdom and he still got the riches. So that's actually a proven thing, man. Because what's going to happen to us, Lord's will, we're of the elect. We obtained this wisdom. On this side, we was poor, but on the next side, shit, the majority of these people, you ain't even going to be able to see us, you know, because there's going to be a hierarchy, right? So you got to think about that, man. These are all the things that come with wisdom. Okay, go ahead.
It says she is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her.
Yeah, she's a tree of life, man, meaning it'll make you prosperous. All right, hey, the scriptures use that comparison a lot. A tree that's planted by the rivers, what's it going to do? It's going to prosper. The word is the wisdom, that's the water. You know, Yahweh Shai likened it unto water. The scriptures, all over the scriptures, the words of the Lord are likened unto water. Water gives you hydration. Water brings forth prosperity. That's why they say if it rains on your wedding day, that's a sign of prosperity. That, you know what I mean? Of course, obviously, that's just superstitions, but it's actually a great comparison if you think about it. You know, because water, it symbolizes prosperity. Because when you go back, this is an Oriental book. We got to remember that. If you in the Middle East, man, it's an Oriental book, man. We was in desert, man. We was in the desert. So to have a body of water next to you was like, ooh, that's a gold mine. You know, niggas here like, oh, the liquor store down the street, we lit. Right? Over there, it's like, yo, we got a body of water nearby, and we got a farm. Oh, we about to win. We about to be rich.
That's why every like complex near water, near the harbor, like downtown,
Yeah.
it's expensive.
It is. Yeah, every waterfront, any housing by the waterfront, it's expensive. You know? That's why, like, to live by the National Harbor in them condos, you paying $5K for a 1-bedroom, literally. You know?
You know what's crazy? So, there's something Zaquan Monaghan had mentioned as far as like looking at water and like how it releases some type of like stress hormones or
Yeah,
something
you're right.
like that.
It does.
And then not only can you like, if you got a farm near water, you're going to prosper, but then also you can bring in goods from
That's true,
other places and stuff
travel.
like that. Yeah, so you know you got a dock. So
right.
it's just all types of money and resources that you can get from water, and also water represents life.
That's right.
Because it's moving, it's constantly moving. I guess Sirach 24th chapter talks about.
That's right. Yeah. Let's finish that out.
It says, and happy is everyone that retaineth her.
Yeah, and happy is everyone that retaineth her, retaining the wisdom of Yahweh Shai. Why are you happy? Your joy be turned. Your mourning is going to be turned to joy. Hey, the scriptures say, "They that sow in tears shall reap with joy." Right? Hey, this is the number. Hey, the workman, man. This is what we're working towards. That wisdom. Working towards obtaining the wisdom. All right. Because what, man? For the times to come, man, ain't nothing else gonna help you. You know, ain't enough bullets in the world. Ain't enough canned goods that's gonna deliver you out of the time of trouble to come, man. That's why the Shah read it earlier. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Okay, finish it up.
It says, the Lord by wisdom have founded the earth.
That's right.
By understanding have he established the heavens.
Yep. Hey, that's right. And guess what else? The scriptures say that wisdom, all right, picked a place to dwell, and that dwelling place was Jacob. So that wisdom is only for Israel. Okay? And on this side, it ain't even for all Israel. Shit, we see Israelites driving by every day, a bunch of dry bones, man. You know, a bunch of unmoisturized Israelites, man. They might have put lotion on that morning, man, but they don't have to live in waters. Go ahead, grab that out. Oh, okay. You sure?
Yeah,
you sure? All right, you have something too? Okay, go ahead.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 11. It says, now all these things happen unto them for examples.
Right.
And they are written for our admonition.
Yeah. Hey,
Or admonition.
Yeah, admonition. Go ahead, grab Romans 15 and 4 real quick. Okay. Hey, at the end of the day, hey, the Shah made a good point earlier. Come on, bro. About how we gotta rely, the scriptures are reliable because the Lord is reliable, right? Hey, everything that was written for a reason, man. All right? It was written as a testimony so that in these times we can use it. All right? You think Jeremiah 51, you think that was written for that was future tense, man. That was a whole letter to us here in these times. That's how reliable the Lord is. He even left you a little something for that generation. Yeah, hey, yeah, that's right. For this generation, man. That's heavy, man. What other God has done that for their followers, man? Ain't no other power doing that for their believers, man. Krishna ain't doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Allah definitely ain't doing that shit, man. Allah left y'all a bunch of instructions on praying 5 times a day. To no avail, man. Ain't that some shit? Taught y'all niggas to kiss a black stone. Ain't that some shit? What y'all gonna do when Jacob's trouble comes? Philly, and we looking at y'all funny, man. They got the most Muslims and shit amongst Jacob. But no, all jokes aside, man. Allah ain't leave y'all nothing, man. You know? Whatever, hey, like that's why them motherfuckers, the only argument they got, oh, it's the fastest growing religion. Okay, so what? So what? What you gonna do when the missiles come? You know? No answers. Crickets. Alright? Read, and then we'll jump to that. Yeah. Get that.
1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 11. Now all these things happen unto them for examples.
Right.
And they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that think he standeth take heed lest he fall.
That's right. Hey, take heed. All right. Hey, that goes for everybody, man. You know, that's why the scriptures say, you know, if you see somebody get judged, be not high-minded, but fear. Okay? Because what? Hey, at the end of the 24, man, the things that are soon to come is not going to be comparable to the evil that's going on now. You know, you think Northern Kingdom getting grabbed up in broad daylight is bad? What are you going to do when it's just straight up legal for them to just come blow people's heads off in public? the mercenaries, the different troops. You gonna say something?
Like how he started off earlier, you know, in Amos 3 and 6.
Yeah.
You know, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?
Right.
You know, or have the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai have not done it? So this is why, you know, like the lesson is gone into, or the ministry is speaking on right now. You know, hearing the words of wisdom, so that in that time you'll be able to apply it, man. Because if you're not going to be able to apply it, you're going to be one of those ones that fall by the most minor thing, you know. You, by not having faith, you know, that you can hear your neighbor's door getting kicked in, and you know, you off your own self. Just because the Lord wants you to, you know.
That's right.
Because like he said, man, have not the Lord done it, you know. This is something you have to really observe and apply, man.
That's right.
You got it, bro.
Hey, the water. No, you're right. Hey, because at the end of the day, this wisdom and knowledge is going to be your stability. How? Hey, be not afraid of something. All right, it's in Proverbs. Because hey, at the end of the day, man, the application of this is what's going to matter. You know. Hey, because we could bring out 1,000 precepts, man. The most important thing is to be able to apply it at the end of the day. That's the whole point of the walk that we have. You know, the brothers were going earlier into moving with wisdom, right? What do you think your trials were for? So that you know how to use the wisdom, man. Okay? Why do you think the scriptures say? They always say that what you go through something, right? And you go through, you get a level of experience, and you grow from it. You know, like the scriptures say that the Most High is not going to put something on you that you can't bear. Meaning He's putting something on you to make you stronger. Meaning that whatever trial you're going through, He put that on you. You know? But why was it put on you though? To strengthen you for that day. You know, to strengthen you for that time. Yahweh Shai said that He endured to the end, the same shall be saved. But endure what? You know? It ain't just, oh, I'm going to read every single day until Yahweh Shai come back. It's deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. Of course, that's a part of it. Right? But what are you enduring? You know? At what point, it ain't gonna be you, hey, your endurance isn't gonna be making 3 videos a week or a video a day. It's gonna be harder than that, man. At some point, it's gonna be, shoot, live to pray another day. You know? Especially in the times of trouble that's coming, man. All right, did you get that? Yeah.
This is Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 25. It says, be not afraid of sudden fear.
Right.
Neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh.
The desolation of the wicked when it cometh. Insinuating that what? At some point in time, there's going to be the enemy coming in like a flood, man. It's the desolation of the wicked. That's what the wisdom is preparing you for, man. You know? We're not gaining wisdom so we can learn how to get into the chariot. We're gaining the wisdom so we can learn how to survive to that day. You know? Because what? At the end of the day, it's your faith, man. You know? That's why the scriptures call it substance. You know? That's what makes it... That's why wisdom is above rubies, because it's a true substance, man. You know, it's a substance like a bag filled with gold. People look at that as substance. Well, guess what? This wisdom, knowledge, understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is worth more than that. We read it earlier. Right? So the application of that's one example of a scripture to apply. Be not afraid of sudden fear. All right? Because what? That's going to come, man. You know? Fearful sights. You see? Hey, the scriptures say that there's going to be a time where many shall be taken in great number. You got something, Shar?
Yeah, I got one to back you up. Talking about how wisdom is going to preserve us.
Yeah.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 9, verse 17. And thy counsel, who have known, except thou give wisdom and send thy Holy Spirit from above. For so the ways of them which live on the earth were reformed, and men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee, and were saved through wisdom.
The water, Shar. Hey, it's a spirit, because I was looking for that. I told this brother to grab it. I said, actually, hold off on that. So you went ahead and brought it out. Hey, that's beautiful, man.
It's powerful.
Very powerful. Hey, the Lord wanted it to come out, man. You know? Because guess what? It's very true. Hey, the counsel of the Lord who hath known, right? Not everybody has the counsel of the Lord, man. Not even all of Israel. Even when Ezra gave all those, even when the angel gave Ezra all those visions, right? He said, give these to the wise of the people, that thou knowest to keep the commandments, right? Because what? It's only a certain amount of people the Lord wants to deliver, man. You know? That's why you see us out here. We're a small sanctuary, man. Lord's word, we're of that number. We're of the few that's going to have the spiritual garments in that time, man. Everybody else will be walking naked. All right. Hey, that's why you see, hey, the way people move out here, man, it's with such a lack of wisdom, man. You know, and it ain't just about moving right when you're in the workplace, right? It's about what are you gonna do when the only option is to have faith in Esau. Are you gonna have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai? You know, they didn't train for that. What they train for, man? You said what?
To have faith in Esau.
Yeah, they were trained to have faith in Esau. They said, nah, I'm gonna trust my master. You know, I'm gonna trust the government. Man, growing up, I used to hear that shit all the time, man. Jake was always like, man, I ain't never worried when I hear about a meteorite coming, man. They got, the government's smart as shit. The government's smart as shit, bro. And I always was like, I don't know about them, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I hear a lot of struggle coming out this place, you know? But what, at the end of the day, man, our faith is in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because this is Esau is an untrustworthy man. You know, if all he's done is slaughter and kill, his track record shows what he's really about. So why would you put trust in that? You know, your trust should be in the wisdom of the Lord. You know, like the brother read what? Unless thou send that wisdom, the Holy Spirit from above, man. Right? Because what? The Lord is giving us and is continuing to give us the secrets. You see? Hey, the Lord told us that only evil is coming. We got to take heed to that, man. Because the time hasn't happened yet. How do we know? We out here chilling right now. Ain't nobody telling us to get off the street corner. You know? People ain't dying out here right this second. So we living in that time before that. What?
And if I may say too, Shard, like you were just saying, you know, like the scripture was saying, how can you obtain wisdom unless it comes from heaven, you know?
That's true, yeah.
Unless it's rained down from the Heavenly Father by way of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, okay? And this is why he has given us his testimony so that we can continuously walk in fear.
That's right.
Right? So 2nd Esdras chapter 8 in verse 27 and 28 it says, regard not the ungodly works of the heathen, but be mindful of those who have diligently kept thy testimonies.
Yeah.
And think not upon those that have walked vainly before thee, but upon those who have learned to fear thy will.
That's right.
You know, this is what the Lord wants us to understand. Like he said, with all that get understanding.
Right.
You know, the understanding that we're trying to gain is the wisdom knowledge that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai wants us to walk in. That's going to be the stability of our time.
That's right. Can we read that again?
Come on.
Real slow.
2nd Esdras chapter 8 in verse 27. Regard not the ungodly works of the heathen.
Regard not the ungodly works of the heathen. Now, you got to think about that, right? Because Jake, all they do is regard the works of the heathen. They look at Esau like, yo, that motherfucker got missiles, though.
Yeah.
You see the weaponry he got? Damn. They really look at it like that, man. They look at Esau as God subconsciously. Because now, you know, everybody make fun of Esau on the internet. Everybody calls him a pedophile, which that's what he is. You know, he's a pedophile, he a faggot. That's what Esau is. But they still respect him, though. They still scared to step on Esau's toes. How do you know? There's 150 angles of these ice niggas. No one has popped them yet. Everybody just, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I thought y'all was gangster, though, man. What's up with all that gangster shit y'all was talking, man? A few of them got popped out in Texas. But other than that, they still scared of Esau shitless. You know? Hey, the only cameras out is Jake. Ice ain't got no cameras, but they scared to pop them. Not to say, you know, not to incite violence at all. I'm just putting it out at the fact that these dudes are scared of Esau, man. Yeah. They look at the works of the heathen, they're like, oh shit. You see what he did to Hiroshima?
It's not the fact that you're calling them to do those things. It's the fact that they claim to be gangsters. They claim to be having that kind of lifestyle. Right. When it comes to the actual people that's going against them, now they all peace and quiet.
Now they iPhone cameras.
That's all we saying.
You know? Hey, that's all we saying, man. But no, it's very true, man. Hey, Jake always regarded the heathen as better than them, man. The only people on this earth, man, that look at the heathen as better than them. I got family members that want to be heathen so fucking bad. I'm like, bro, how whack can you be, bro? Don't touch me. That's how I look at my family now, man. I'm like, ugh, how dare you, bro? You know who the fuck we are? I don't tell them. Some of my family members know, man. They bug the fuck out. No, they regard these heathen as better than us. I'm like, bro, how? These dudes eat abominable foods, you know, bathing in urine. These are the type of shit the works of the heathen, bro. All jokes aside, man, they do unclean things, man.
Yeah, spiritually, that's what they're doing. Like,
yeah,
all
spiritually.
The music,
that's
they
why
are the heathen.
Yeah,
like, look what they believe in. Look how they treat our people.
Yeah.
Like you was just saying earlier, Jake would be so quick to be trying to get with us, trying to beat us up, trying to rob us, break into our cars, steal our cars, but they don't go over there to do that to the white man in the neighborhood.
They're scared to touch Esau.
Yeah, hell yeah. You see, that's spiritual, right? So that's why they're considered as the heathen, because that's what they constantly conjure up that heathen like spirit.
That's right.
You know, and they trust in that because you can put fear in a nigga, or you can put fear in this and fear in that, or I could take your life, you know. And that's what they constantly feed off of. It's just constantly putting hell on Jake. You in the hood, we all struggling, and you gonna come and take something of mine that I'm trying to go to work, and you holding me up now. Now you making my life even more worse, making my life even worse.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, that's what they do, man. Yeah. Hey, Jake marveled at the works of these heathen, man. You know, they
are the heathen, bro. That's what they are. Because look, the heathen follow them.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
Because the heathen is looking at them now. You to see the spirit of America throughout all the other countries.
That's true.
They want to do the drill rap. They want to dress like us, be like us. That spirit of Judah is throughout all the world now.
All the world, yeah.
You know, because they're the top heathen. If that makes anything, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, spiritually speaking. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Hey, our people. Hey, in past times ye were Gentiles. Like the scripture, Apostle Paul said that. Why did he say that? Because our people was behaving like Gentiles, man. All that drill, hippity hoppity boppity bop, like those New York niggas, man. Everybody copies that shit. Bro, New York slang is the whole world slang right now. Everybody, you hear everybody, yo, that crazy work, pause. That's all New York City, man.
Who's at the forefront?
That's Judah talk, man.
It's Jake.
Yeah.
Jake, because they know Jake is going to follow that kind of stuff. That's why when you look at the music industry, who's at the top of the music industry? It's Jake.
That's right.
And a lot of people follow after that. So that's why they keep on electing those people to be at the top. And then all of a sudden now people follow for those things.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
The brother was saying that it's spiritual, and that how. I'll give you an example. Remember the scriptures say, "Any Cain shall be avenged sevenfold." So one Edomite can walk through, the pits of hell in Crimson, somewhere, L.A., and they'll just let them. They're afraid of him.
Yeah.
It can be one Edomite and about 1,000 thugs armed to the teeth, and they'll just tremble when this man walk through. So the Lord has a spiritual hedge around these Edomites because this is their kingdom. But see, we'll walk through here or stand 10 of us.
Where you from, nigga?
And they'll, where you from? What you looking at?
Yeah.
You see, so that tells you it's a spiritual hedge around them right now. So Isaac or Yahweh Shai has to take them out.
Like that video, man. Justin Bieber in the hood, man.
Yep.
Even though he's a Jake, but still, they had that singing on camera. They had him singing melodies on camera. But hey, that's true, man. That's the scriptures living in front of you, man. You know, Jake is afraid to touch the heathen. They look at the heathen as gods. That ain't right. Okay. So we grab the what do you have?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 27.
Uh-huh.
Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen.
Right. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen. Right. Meaning, don't give it no time, don't give it no energy, man. For what? You know, is there not way more of us than it is of them, or with us than with them? Of course, man. That was in the book. What is that? First Kings. Elisha said that to his servant. You can find that, my brother. You know, cause hey, it's true, man. You know, that's the thing, man. These heathen, they all, because at the end of the day, Esau was given a carnal blessing, but that's all the heathen is blessed carnally. You know, every single one of them, man, because nothing about them is spiritual. They were not created to be like that. You know, that's why a common trend amongst all the tribes is what? We all believe in God. We all believe in a higher power. You know, ain't one tribe that you see here that doesn't believe in the Most High. All right, continue.
2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 27. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies and afflictions.
That's right. But of those that keep thy testimonies and afflictions, man. All right. Read about your ancestors, man. You know, Jake want to learn about, like that one Jake that I know you remember that guy. He used to come up, hey, did Jesus study with the monks? 2 months later, he came back. Nah, I found out I'm actually Hindu, brother. Black as hell talking about, nah, I'm Hindu. I'm Hindu. You know, man's had an S-curl talking about I'm Hindu. Come on, man. What the fuck did you go read, bro? This nigga went and read the Code of Hammurabi or some shit. I don't know. Some Karma Sutra shit. But all jokes aside, he regarded the works of the heathen. What is Krishna gonna do for you, man? Did Krishna warn you of the MOTB? Or Kali, the goddess Kali with the tongue out? Did she tell you about Jacob's trouble? Did she warn? No. She told you to paint your face, go bathe in the Ganges, whatever the fuck, that dirty ass river. You I'm dirty as shit. Continue.
John, verse 28.
Yep.
It says, think not upon those that have walked vainly before thee, but remember them which according to thy will have known thy fear.
Yep, that's right. Those that have known thy fear. What's a perfect example, man? All right? Hey, you got Elisha, you got Elisha, John the Baptist, all these men, man. Regard their faith. Because if you notice, every single biblical character, I don't like to say character because they were real people, but every biblical figure, I'll say, what did they all have? Every righteous biblical figure, might I add, all right? Because we got a few you might want to not act like, right? But they all had one common characteristic, man, which is faith, man. Abraham, Noah, these men move with fear, they move with faith, like it says in Hebrews the 11th chapter, man. They all move that way, but why does that matter? Because that's the example we ought to take for these times, okay?
And spiritually, you said that because earlier,
Let that pass.
well, it's a spiritual brother say that because Apostle Bob was talking about solitude, and you see throughout the scriptures, but he said Noah, when Noah had to separate himself from society to build the ark.
Yeah.
When you said Abraham had to leave his family to go to Ur the Chaldees, you know, because the Lord put the spirit on him to get ahead and go down there. But they all did things through faith, you know. But that they had to have confidence and believe in the Lord to get ahead and complete those tasks that the Lord had purposed them to do. You know, so through that solitude, you know, you get closer to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah through that solitude, and then your faith gets increased because you got to look at your past too, because the scriptures say, look at the generation of the old and see.
Yeah.
Have anybody believe, like roughly paraphrasing, did you believe in the Lord and they was confounded? The answer is no. So you got to look at your past and see too, through your trials and tribulations, even when you was in the world. The Lord got you to a certain point to where, you know, you overcame certain trials and tribulations. Yeah, he might have put you down for a little while, but then you got back up. You know, it's not how you fall, it's how you get back up.
That's right.
Right? So it's constantly just keep going over, like the brothers is going on. It's repetition. Repetition. It's going to build your confidence. It's going to build your belief. It's going to build your character. It's going to carve you nice and to where you know you basically carrying your name. So that's why I said a good name is better than precious ointment. You gotta. That's how you got to represent your name, because you're a representation of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. So you got to represent that name also. You know. So that's all in the compass of us. That's why they call apostles call it this thing of ours.
Yeah.
You know. So we got to constantly remember these things.
Hey, that's spiritual, because when you look at Abraham's physical walk, it's what we're doing spiritually in these times. We're forgetting about our idol worshiping family. You know, we're leaving behind our idol worshiping family through the Spirit. We're leaving them behind to go to a land that we have never been to, or we don't remember.
Look, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because you made me think of when Abraham, he had to play the serpent. He basically told Sarah, like, yo, don't let him know that.
I was just thinking about that example too.
Because King David did the same thing. He,
he
when he was around, I forget the.
It was one of them Hamites.
I'm not sure, but I just know they was. He basically knew he was like
enemy territory. He was enemy territory.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was like he basically was he was outnumbered, so he had to play like he was dumb. He was drooling on, he was drooling on his bed,
writing on the wall.
He's like, so the Warriors was like, this is no way this is King David. He's acting crazy.
They did say that. They said he was mad. He pretended to be mad.
So you gotta we gotta extrapolate and see, and then constantly go over these things. Like, yo, man, a lot of the times the Lord gonna put that spirit on you. Just gotta trust and wait and believe. You know, be patient. It's all about long suffering in this truth, man. You constantly see that.
Hey, that's the spirit, because we read in 2nd Ezra. Be mindful of what those men. That the testimonies we have of them, those that fear the Lord. Be mindful of their testimonies. All right? Because everything that David did, we can learn from the wrong things that he did to the righteous things he did. We all can get substance out of it, or understanding, because that's what substance means as well. You see? Because the walk, for example, the walk that Abraham had, you know how much you can learn from his walk? He used wisdom, he used subtlety when his wife Sarah got taken. Well, yeah, he was trying to save his life. All right, you say you got what? Romans. Go ahead.
Romans 15:4.
Perfect.
For whatsoever things are written aforetime.
Yeah, whatsoever. Whatsoever things were written aforetime. I remember I said this years ago, man, in a video I made. Whatever situation you're going through, there's a precept for it. You know, and even if it's not a precept, there's a story for it. You know, you just gotta find it. Let the Spirit of the Lord guide you to it, man. You know, anybody's story, man. You know, story, man. Even biblical figures that a lot of people don't even talk about, like Gideon, man. The Christian church don't talk about that, man. The story of Gideon, man. You know how heavy that story is, man. A man that was, hey, cause what in the beginning of the story he was pretty doubtful. He said, "Lord, show me a sign, show me a sign." Yeah. It's like, yo, man, the Lord showed you the signs, huh? You know. but guess what though? In these times, you might be going through that. And you're like, yo, let me stop being like that, man. For the Lord scared me, man. You know what I mean? Let me have some faith, man. The story of Gideon, everybody knows Samson. But you know what I mean? Even the I don't like to say lesser because they're not lesser, man. Even the stories that are so short mean so much. The story of Tobit. I never heard about Tobit till I came into the truth.
Obadiah, one chapter.
Yeah, one chapter.
But it's deep.
Yeah, you're right. But like, for example, the book of Tobit. You know how much you can extrapolate from the book of Tobit? You know how much stuff Tobit said that you can use for these times today? A whole lot, man. There's so much substance within those stories, man. You know, that's why the scriptures say, hey, be mindful of those things.
Gideon, he had, it's crazy because Nalo was challenging us this week.
Yeah.
And Gideon, he had multiple sons. He had a lot of sons.
He did, yeah.
And he had multiple wives. It said that in the scriptures.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So you see that? That's why the Christian church don't want to bring that stuff out, because they look at stuff like that. That's not a part of the 50C31 charter.
Yeah.
So they don't want to teach that. They don't want to put
masculinity.
that. Yeah, they don't want to teach that, man. You know, because people will rise up and they'll see like, yo, hold up, this is. We start looking outside of America. All these other countries got multiple wives. As long as they can hold it down, you know what I'm saying. But our people are just out of order. You know, it says let everything be done in decency and order. But our people are just so quick to like, oh, I'm gonna get with this chick, I'm gonna get with that chick, and they wind up having way too many babies.
Bro, somebody said that, I think Elder Kasap had mentioned it. They said, how did they manage to trick y'all to preach homosexuality?
It's okay.
But it's okay, but you can't do have multiple wives.
That polygamy is wicked.
It's crazy.
Polygamy is wicked, but being a swinger, that's A-okay in this society.
Yeah.
That type of wicked. Come on, man. Hey, but that's the thing. Esau because you know what's gonna happen when Jake learns that's that example of polygamy being righteous. Let Jake find out that's actually righteous. It'll be, yo, I'm a man. Fuck all that.
It will scare Esau.
Yeah, it was.
What was it? They was just like, oh, they were more mighty than us.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's Exodus, the first chapter. Yeah. Hey, let's grab that. Let's grab that in Exodus.
They was like, oh, they more mightier than us. And then Esau, behind the closed doors, you know, behind the scenes, that Esau knows that we're stronger than them.
That's right.
You know, so that's why he's constantly trying to oppress us and keep us down. That's why he was bombing all these all of our cities. But help me out with some of the cities that he bombed, and then now they got lakes over them. They Lake Lanier,
all black cities.
Black Wall Street, Tulsa.
There's so many. There's over 100. That's the thing, man.
See, so that's why he has even with the Northern Kingdom, he constantly has to suppress. Even with Northern Kingdom, he constantly has to suppress them or us. You know, like something I learned about, what was it, Nicaragua? There was like a banana company that was thriving. And I think it was a president. And he basically started to bring the economy up. I'm not sure it's
Chiquita. Yeah.
Okay. And then basically he was bringing up the economy, and then of course
Esau had to step in.
Yeah, they brought the CIA in to overthrow him. Yeah, and then all because of a banana company.
Yeah. Esau don't let you have nothing, man.
That's why it says what is the root of all evil?
Love of money.
The love of money is the root of all evil, man. So, like Naaman had mentioned a while ago, like just follow the money, and you see, you always run into the same guy, man. Esau Edom, man.
That same pale red cave gorilla, as my main man, Mafia Eyes would call him, man. You cave gorillas, man. You red cave beasts. These damn troglodytes, man. They don't let you have a damn thing to yourself, man. You know. Hey, that's why the cancer of the earth needs to be put out, man. You know, because he's moving in the same spirit as Pharaoh. That's why we can read Exodus. Go ahead and read that real quick. See, this is history, but we can use it for today, because this is the new Egypt. Is this not the new Egypt? This is not the 12 tribes here, just like in Egypt, in ancient Egypt? So we can apply this to today. Go ahead, Ak.
This is Exodus 1:8. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
Right.
He said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Yeah, so they think that, and because it's very true, they are more and mightier than we. Esau can't reproduce for a damn thing. That's why he has to get with the women of the other nations, man. You know, that's how weak this guy is. And plus also because he's a natural born Mo. You know, they're not even into women. That's why you look at all his great generals, right? Whenever they conquered shit, they was getting little boys and shit like that. They wasn't looking for no women, man. It was a bunch of weirdos, man. They was looking for little boys and little kids, man. You know, Esau ain't into being fruitful and multiplying, man. He's against that. He likes to kill. Hey, the scriptures say, since thou hast not hated blood, because he loves to shed blood, man, in Ezekiel, right? So what? He's saying, hey, man, these Israelites are more and mightier than us, man. You know, and they know they're not strong, man. You know, a bunch of weak pagans, man. A bunch of weak Satan worshipers. That's why they have to rely on dark magic and their scientific racism. Yeah. That's why they have to rely. Man, that's just loud. That's why they have to rely on their things like their scientific racism. Oh, we're better than you statistically. Nigga, you made that up, man. You inflated all those numbers. Like what they did with Northern Kingdom. They all put them as white when they immigrate or anything like that, man. They put them down their race as white to up their numbers. And then, man, you damn demon, man. Always inflating his numbers, man. You know? Always statistically, he's always better than everybody else. Whole time, this man's the biggest piece of shit. And he's also the dumbest. You know? Shit, man. Hey, he's through, man. Go ahead, keep reading.
Just continuing on in verse 10, it says, come on, let us deal wisely with them.
Right, and that's exactly the scriptures say, and what is that, Psalms 83. Can we grab that, Baba Kashashar? Psalms 83, man. They created a tumult. They created stumbling blocks for our people, man. You know? They polluted the minds of our people. That's why they look at Esau as the grand master. Look at Esau as that guy. The whole time, he's the biggest piece of shit, man. Who loves nothing. He hates that. He'll destroy himself if he has to destroy us. This man he said, if I'm going down, y'all coming with me. You know? That's really how he is. That's really how he thinks, though, man. You know, hey, if Esau could destroy the whole earth so everybody would disappear, he would do it. He'd be like, fuck it. You know?
I can't have it, nobody can.
Yeah, if I exactly. You know, hey, he's the selfish nigga, man. He's a real nigga, man. You know? Hey, we're the children of the light, man. You know, we're the real white children, man. Or the real white people. You know? But what reread that? Or read that again?
Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
Right, and that's what they do, man. They deal wisely. What do, man? You know, they program you in school. They separate us from our parents for 8 hours plus a day. You know, really it's like 10 if you really think about it, right? They do that for what? To program you to believe in his science. You know, they program our mothers, you know, to trust in them. You know, to trust. Oh no, the vaccines, they're safe, man. The guy with the white lab coat said he worked on it for years. That's really how they think, though, man. Our people really like, hey, bro, these scientists, they got the degree. That's one thing, man. My woman always used to say that, hey, they the ones with the degree. And I was like, all right, go ahead. What do you mean? Yeah. I don't get it. Okay, they got the piece of paper. That just means they went into debt, man. Okay, would you put, hey, what does logic tell you? Would you put some with 50,000 ingredients you don't even know where half of it come from into your body? I wouldn't. I wouldn't do nothing like that. You know? Can you read that out? Hold that for a second.
At the top?
Yeah, Baba Kushal.
This is Psalms chapter 83, verse 1.
And this applies for now, for all you naysayers that don't believe in the scriptures, and those of you that think that the Old Testament is irrelevant. Hey, man, you know what? You're irrelevant, man. How about that? You know, because the words of the Lord, hey, man, are for the past, present, and the future, man. The words of the Lord are pure, man. Purer than silver tried 7 times, man. So we can use these scriptures, man, for truth's sake. All right? Hey, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. Go ahead.
This is Psalms chapter 83, verse 1.
Yep.
Keep not thy silence, O Most High.
Right.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High.
Right.
Below thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult. Right? Our enemies set up stumbling blocks for us, man. All of our enemies, man. You know, from Planned Parenthood to Plan B being sold at your local CVS. You know, all those things are really aimed at Jake, man. The nations, only Israelites are scared to have kids, man, at a young age. Only Israelites are, man. These are the nations, they're all about, you know, they're all about that. They're all about creating families. You You know, when you look at Elam and the Ishmaelites, you know, they get married real young and have families real young because they know that that's how life is supposed to be. Look at Jake be 35 years old. Man, I ain't ready to be a father, man. I'm scared, man. The fuck you mean, man? The Lord said be fruitful, multiply. Now I ain't saying go out there and have 20 kids because we in a different season right now. But Jake, that's how Jake thinks, man. Jake is afraid of life in this time, man. Okay? And what? Our enemies make a tumult, man. That's why they program our people to believe in all types of wickedness, man. All right? Our people be all worshiping a white Jesus, you know? Worship NASCAR Jesus. I like to call him that now. You know, because that's how these country-ass niggas look at Jesus, man. You know? He drinks Budweiser and watches NASCAR. Right?
That's why you stepped in that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's why he stepped in that comment.
Yeah, that's why, he did, because I saw that shit. It's funny, I saw that shit earlier, walked right around it, he stepped right in it, man. Hey, that's why he turning red, man. Go ahead, keep reading.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 2.
Hey, look, if that ain't proof enough that the Lord, hey, no one mocks the Lord, man. Stop playing games out here, man. Hey, shalom, mock. You know? Hey, because you know what? That's exactly where Esau wants you. He wants you to be a homosexual. That guy was a clear flamer. That's what Esau wants you to be, man. A flamer with a bald face, man. You know? He wants you to be lost. You can't multiply. Yeah, so you can multiply, man. You know? Hey, it's a shame, man. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 2. Hello.
So
Thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that hate thee. Do not I hate them that hate thee, O Lord. These nations hate the Lord, man. You know? These nations don't like us, man. When are you going to get that, Jake? You know? And Jake's so fucking stupid. I remember I had this one coworker. He was like, bro, we're all the same, bro. Like, if you look at Indian people, they look like us. They just have straight hair. I'm like, shut your ass up, man. You damn Mo. He turned out to be a whole Mo. You know? They dumb as shit, man. Jake is stupid. Like that one nigga on TikTok. I forgot what question he was asked, but he said, we all just different shades of wheat, man, and kept it pushing. And that's like, my man, that had no type of, people looked at it like it was so deep and philosophical. Like, no, nigga, there is 18 nations, man. All right, and if you ain't part of this nation, immortality is not promised or open unto you. The wisdom ain't open unto you. All right, and if you ain't of this nation, very soon you're gonna be chained up, shackled up, and be put to work, man. And we gonna beat your ass. Rightfully so, man. Because right now we're reading about how these nations got together to come against the nation of Israel. Are you not offended by that? Are you not offended that these nations have come together to kill you, to pollute your fucking mind, to pollute your kids, to pollute your water, all right, to pollute your wives, to soon want to kill you physically? Are you not upset by that? That doesn't upset you, man. That doesn't rouse up your spirit to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. That's why, man, our nation, man, there's very few warriors left in our nation, man. Only the elect is left, man. The rest of these niggas is cowards, man. Like ISUPK, no cowards. You're all the cowards, man. You're all the real cowards. Y'all serving the Lord the wrong way, man. You know, teaching our people carnality. These dudes, a bunch of Edomite ass kissers, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they doing exactly what Esau tells them to do, man. Be ashamed of yourself. I hate those guys, man. I hate wicked ass Jake, man. You know? The nations is gearing up to come take us out. Esau is gearing up to come take us out. And you telling motherfuckers take the jump shot. You telling motherfuckers trust Esau. You know? Alright, go ahead.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 3. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Right, against thy people. They have taken crafty counsel against the people of the Lord. Who are the people of the Lord, man? The Israelites, man. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You know? Hey, I mentioned a few examples of that crafty counsel.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
The hidden ones, man. The elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. You know? There is a task force for us, brothers. You know, we got to believe that there's a task force for us. You know? Hey, we're number one on Esau's hit list, man. He likes to downplay us like we not, but we really are, man. You know? We really are, man. Because we're really the biggest threat, man, because we're telling the truth. Telling the truth is way more threatening than picking up a gun. Esau has missiles. He's not worried about your pea shooters. That's why these stupid ass niggas talking about, oh yeah, we gotta arm up. Nigga, for what?
He's more concerned about other. He's more concerned about the information that's being put out there.
That's right.
Us having this wisdom and knowledge, understanding, revealing the truth of the matter. So that's why he puts so much stuff out there, so people don't know what to follow.
Yeah.
To try to keep you
for
off
the
track.
confusion. For the confusion. Yeah.
If I may say real quick, that's why they're doing what they're doing with TikTok. That's why they're going to, as I quote Netanyahu, have that talk with your boy from X. Because what? It's about the information.
That's right.
Hillary Clinton said back in, when she was running against Trump, his first go around, say we lost the information. And they're right.
Yeah.
And in that letter that CK wrote before he was offed, if it's the real deal, in that letter, because one of the sites that I watched, she read it, and it was like, if this is true, because there's no date on it or anything, he's warning Netanyahu about, well, you know, social media is kicking your ass. You got to do something. You got to appoint some special unit or some shit. As best I can remember the words, but
That's what Project Esther's about.
yeah, exactly.
It's all that's
So
what it's all about. You're right.
That's why they're coming hard like they are now. Because they've already lost. And you know, people can't unsee or unhear what they've already, you know, information they've taken in.
That's very true, Charlotte the Water, because at the end of the day, you know what's one of the biggest secrets that the Hebrew Israelites brought out? That the people in the land right now ain't the true chosen people. That's one of the once that came out, boom, all hell, man. Breaking crazy loose, man. You know? Because the truth spread like wildfire. Because now people are like, wait a second, these guys got a point. Because even people that don't agree with us, that we're the Israelites, they're still like, wait a second, man. These niggas did enter through the Balfour Declaration in 1948, man. Wait a second, man. These is Europeans, man.
When you start putting information out there, like even in a courtroom, and now even if some people don't claim it to be true, it now raises questions.
That's right.
People are paying attention to what information now came out.
And that's why I had mentioned. Oh, you gonna say something, Mark? I was gonna mention. I mentioned Project Esther. Like this brother was pretty much touching on it. There is a task force that's set up to for what's the word? Damage control. Essentially, they're gonna be able to prosecute people that speak about the Amalekites, the you wish people.
I was about to mention that all the unrighteous decrees, all the laws they putting out there now, it's just to get off the streets.
Yeah, it is.
It's just to make sure we're not speaking about
To
those
lock us
things
up.
that's getting out there.
Yeah.
And then also, what was that? Netanyahu, he made a deal with YouTube and Google, talking about that censorship. So if you talk up against the small hats, the tiny tops, they basically could cancel your YouTube page or whatever or whatnot. But you can tell it's going to intensify, like with them basically coming to your door because you had spoken up against them. And that's just like we was going into yesterday. That's what's coming to this whole place. But they people don't even see that. They don't know that. Nah. Subconsciously they know that, but like they are so worried about pleasing the flesh and then just to subdue the pain and stuff right now. But Esau, you could see Esau in the corner sharpening up the horns, getting ready to start killing these people because like you said, they a lot of people got this information, so Esau wants to do away with a lot of people. So then the other people are just going to fall right in line because they see the slaughter and all the killing and the murder and the hunger and the pain and
fear.
Yeah, and the fear that other people are going through. So of course they're going to line right up to take that chick, and then and then they're going to and it's like, what? Now you messed up because you didn't have the fear of the Lord to like, I can't take it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what is the guy with the gun gonna do? Everybody lying on his name. He's like, all right, fuck it then. He gonna pull the guns out. All right, what about now? How about now?
And then real quick, I'm glad you
like Bishop and Juice, man. That's what he did. When they Salaki, brother.
Because that's what Esau wants you to do is pick up that gun.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what he's teaching our people to do through the music, through black culture and stuff like that. So that's how we know not to deal with ISUPK because you're just gonna wind up getting yourself killed. As soon as you go to touch that gun, boom, boom, bow, bow, bow.
Hey, what is like the Elder Monagon said, man? They teaching you how to resist arrest. Why are you teaching your congregation to resist arrest? For what? That's not gonna benefit you. They can kill you.
Show the power of the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, because you have a shine. Khan, you got it.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 9:18. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good.
See, so it only takes one bad apple to destroy, to basically mess up the bunch. Because a little leaven,
the whole lump.
The whole lump, man. So that's how we know. Like those dudes, they mad carnal. Yeah, that's what we was going into yesterday. It's okay to have the knowledge, right? It's cool, but like you gotta get the wisdom. So like once again, wisdom is a compound word. You got the wise and you got the doom. Like wise means to see. Like if you look at I always say you look like the what is it called? Wise tater chips. It got that eye on there, right? So when you go deeper into to that eye, or it goes back to wit. So you gotta use your wit. So you gotta be witty. You know, Elder Pashah was going into that. So somebody that gotta be funny. That somebody that's funny is witty. It's basically you're clever minded. You're skillful with your words. Being able to compare certain things and bring it into the group to make people laugh. And then on doom, you get so you got the eye, you got the eye salve to see the doom come before it happens. So that's when, you know, when something does happen, then that's when you get understanding. So now you're able to deal with certain situations and bring it stable, you know?
Yeah, you do have to be smart for that. Yeah, come on, brother. Hey, really, you gotta be to be witty, man. You gotta be a wise person, man. You know, to some degree. You know, people that can crack jokes, that takes a level of intelligence, man. You know, and it takes a level of intelligence to foresee evil, man. Hey, that's why the scriptures say a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. You know? Who had a scripture last?
I was on Exodus.
You're on Exodus. Oh, we had Psalms.
Continuing Psalms?
Yeah, we'll continue on Psalms. Yeah, because, hey, at the end of the day, man, our enemies, they still haven't fully come up against us yet. Okay, yeah, we went through slavery and things like that, but soon it's going to be a time as never was, and also Jacob's trouble, man. That has to come. Hey, since we mentioned IUCPK, what do they call Jacob's trouble? They downplayed it. That shit's gay. Why are you downplaying prophecy of evil to come to the tribes, man? You know, did your daddy Esau tell you that, man? That's what it was, man. Their daddy Esau told them, hey, I don't want to hear none of that. They was like, oh, yes, boss. Yeah. Yes, boss. You know? Hey, man, that's why, man, these camps, man, that downplay anything of the scriptures, hey, man, you got to look at them funny, man. They're not right, man. Nothing of the scriptures should ever be downplayed, man. If the Lord is warning you of evil to come, why aren't you teaching about it, man? If the Lord told you that there's a judgment for taking the MOTB, why aren't you teaching it? Why aren't you doing your due diligence to find out what that is? If you really think it's an embargo and you can't see that it's the C-hip, do your due diligence for the Lord to reveal it unto you, man. Even though I feel like they just don't want to see it. Yeah. But at the same time, for those that can't see it, for real, man, pray and fast to the Lord that He reveal it unto you, man, so that you can see it. You know, because it's important, man. Those things matter. It ain't, you can't just leave it at, I know I'm a Judite, brother. Shalom. You can't just leave it at that, man. You gotta be an Israelite of substance, man. All right? You got something?
Back in Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 83, verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. Right. Wait a minute, let's skip. Yeah. It's Psalms 83 and 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Right, let's cut them off from being a nation. And they began what with that mentor, man? You know, what did they tell you? They gave you a color. Wherever you go, man, they gave you a color, man. They told you was black, you was Hispanic. The fuck does that even mean, man? You know, what does that pertain to, man? Who's my father, man? Essentially, they blurred out your fatherhood. That's what they really did. They blurred out your patriarchy. That's why Gad's all fucked up. Oh, they go by the maternal line. Motherfucker, we come from semen, man. We don't come from no, you know what I'm saying? We don't come from the egg of a woman. Nah, man. You know? That's why you could have Jake coming from you could have brothers from other mothers, but y'all still got the same last name for a reason. Y'all got the same father. You know? But that's how jacked up our people have gotten, man. They said, come, let us cut them off. Let's read that again. Hold on, let the bikes pass. He's not gonna pass. Go ahead, read.
You gonna do that?
Yeah. God.
Damn, bro.
Right at the good part too, bro. Yeah. Don't worry, we see you, my guy. That's what he wants. So.
Jake want attention.
You want the bitches, man. Can't help but laugh at her. Why are you even? But hold up, you a grown ass man. You blasting that shit in the streets, man. What's wrong with you, man? Jeez. Jake is going through it all. He thinking about his first wife, Bob.
He's going through a breakup, bro. That's how it is.
You thinking about that first, the one that got away. You thinking about the one
hanging out the window.
Yeah,
Psalms chapter 83, verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Right, so these other nations have consulted against the people of the Lord to say, let us cut them off from being a nation. You know? And it was deeper than just our nationality. You know, they caused us to sin. You know? Put in whatever the fuck in our foods, in our water. Who knows what type of shit they put in the water in the projects, man. That dumbs down. But Jake is so damn strong, they overcome that shit. They've been pouring fluoride in our water for years. Jake is still the shit, man. We're still better than y'all, man. Better than you other nations, man. You damn Elamites. That's like big in this area. Elam taking all the jobs around here, man. You know, for brothers that's into the tech world, they taking all the jobs. Whole time them niggas dumb as shit. Them niggas is retarded, bro. They made this shit, bro. You know? But what, these nations really have done a number, man. You know? Causing us to leave who we truly are, man. That's why Jake is all fucked up. That's why Jake be going to these different countries, learning their language, marrying their women. For what, Jake? Oh, I just really love their culture. You have a culture. You know? You have the best culture in the world. And you choose to be like these other nations. Like I said, I got a fan member like that, man. That nigga think he Korean, man. Tall as hell. You know?
Laws of the Bible are too restrictive for you.
Yeah, that's right.
There's not much freedom.
Yeah, you can't eat squid according to the Bible. You can't eat octopus, Ox.
I get a kick out of, you know, watching those videos. There's one particular Jake over in China. He's speaking fluent. I don't know if it's Mandarin or Cantonese, whichever one.
Oh, yeah, he passed away.
And be an old man over there like, what? Walk way over there. I mean, he's speaking that's just fluent. But in any case, Psalms 83 and 4, let me finish it out. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Yeah, so you have Esau. He started off with the Bible destruction group, right? And he slowly trickled down to where he's just constantly his main purpose is to suppress us, you know, us serving our power so we could glow, right? But you see, when Esau is doing something, you see how the people are, the state that they're in. The state that they're in is this constant death, mourning, pain, you know, the same routine of like killing themselves, you know. But they was back in the day, they was doing redlining. They're still doing these things today.
Yeah, nothing changed.
Yep, nothing didn't change. But Jake believed that it's okay to believe, it's okay to trust the white man, you know, the so-called white man.
That's why I always carry that little book with me. Still got it right here. How the white folks get so rich. It's like line item, all the shit that they did and still do. All right.
Yeah, till this day. And you see that there's still lynchings that's going on, and people don't know nothing about it. They still got sundown towns, but yet our people think that it's okay to trust in the system. You know, the scriptures talk about the laws are not grievous, right? But the laws, it says the law is spiritual.
God. For verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And then it gives you the list. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites, for you Muslims out there, of Moab and the Hagarenes, Moab being your modern day so-called Chinese. Verse 7, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek. So it mentions Edom more than once, giving you Amalek, which is the grandson of Esau. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Again, another of Ham. All right.
Yeah, and these are people that's coming up against just us. So you got to realize that we're so strong and we're so powerful as a nation that it takes all of the nations on the planet Earth, all of the heathen nations, to come up against us. But in Judith, it talks about, in the 7th chapter, it talks about, when that Ammonite was basically explaining to the king that, like, yo, don't bother those people, because if you mess with them and they serve their power, they always overcome and they will always win. So that's why we teaching our people how to win. The only way to win is to pray to the Lord, you know, get right with the Lord. You know, the word of the week was reconcile, to reconcile with the Lord. Reconcile means to make back friends. So we're teaching our people to make back friends, to learn how to please the Heavenly Father and His Son, so what we can be friends, so we can make it up out of here in one piece. You know, but our people will rather serve Esau and take on these heathen customs, just like in the Maccabees, like we were going into yesterday. You know, and it's a constant cycle of the same thing. That's why it's just said there's nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing that keeps happening over and over again. And you see the souls that saved and the souls that's slaughtered. All right. So right now is the time to get right. There's still, you can still go to the store, buy water. You can still pray and fast. You know, if you messed up to the Day of Atonement, yo, do it again. Do it again. There's nothing wrong with that. The Lord will. That is a good sight in the Lord's eye.
It's a righteous thing.
It's a righteous thing in the Lord's eye.
This is Romans 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
So we know these laws are spiritual. One of the first laws you think about is eating pork. Right? We know this comes with nothing but disease, you know? Even if Esau right now, right, he probably got some technology to where he's able to kill like majority of the worms, and so when you put the Coca-Cola on it, the worms don't come out. You know, because the FDA president had basically mentioned that American food is the safest on the planet Earth. The reason why is because they put so many chemicals in it. Mm-hmm. They throw out chicken in bleach water, you know, then put it on the shelf. That's why it lasts so long. You didn't have a chicken at the bottom of the fridge and last a whole week without seasoning, you know, without stench, you know. But that's the place that we live in, man. You know, what the scripture talks about how we shall eat our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles, man. So we're constantly trying to fight this poison, trying to please the Lord. We got certain spirits messing with us, right? So that's what the scriptures talk about. Prepare thyself for temptation, because when you start chasing the Lord to please the Heavenly Father, you also got demons trying to pull you back. It's the same thing for Esau, trying to pull us back from serving our power because he knows he's going to be a slave, man. And it's like we was going into yesterday, right? He's looking at all, like he says, the scripture says he's wiser than Daniel. So he's looking at he's doing all this research, searching it out with his tears. So he said he would search it out diligently, you know, with tears in his eyes. And he's still going to lose, man, because right now we're serving our power to the best of our ability, man, you know. And through faith, we're going to be saved, and through our good works put together, you know. And can I get Revelation, the 7th chapter? I think it's like the 3rd verse.
Yeah.
What you got?
Let me go ahead and read that. Ephesians 6. Yeah. This is Ephesians 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Real quick, because there's a difference between pride and boldness. Pride is basically having these tangible things, and you pumped up because of the things that the success that you have in the flesh side. Boldness is standing on your Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, knowing what's right. Right, so that's when we come out here in great boldness, because we know to speak these things to our people and cast down Babylon, right? And then wake up our people through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So that's the difference between the two. We're not up here being proud, because if you're proud and on the flesh side, you won't be able to be corrected. You know, the Lord will kick your ass, and your ass will be just kicked. Boosie? Perfect example. Ass just kicked up all up and down this goddamn road, man. Yep. And now what was it? The last video the brother put up, he was like, he just totally denounced the Lord. Now he's going. Oh, now he's going to jail, right, or something like that. But, you know, whatever. Put on the whole armor.
Ephesians 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Yes, some individuals come into this truth and they put on the armor for a little bit, you know, but it gets too heavy for them. But you gotta understand, you're the strongest when you're the weakest. That's what Paul said. He said he glories in his weakness, man, because he's basically able to you understand the Lord way better through your trials and through your lows, man. So true. Because he will lift you up. It's like a plane, engine failure. Pull up, and then the Lord just slowly but surely he'll pull you up. You just gotta believe, man. And it feels like you're about to crash. Go ahead, you got it.
Can I read it? Real quick, 2 Corinthians 12:9, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness.
Yeah, wow. Because so you become stronger through your weakness. Because right when you're weak, the first thing you do is pray. Pray and you know, fast, you know, if you can and whatnot, you know, but it's good to understand that you have to fast. Because Yahweh Shai is not here, and basically like that's our, you know, man would consider as the woman. So because I did a video on that, and you have to understand that like right now we're not in a time of mirth, we're not in a time of joy, we're in a time of mourning. You know, so we have to fast and pray. And if you're struggling with fasting, you know, take your time with it. You know, start a half fast. You know, pick a certain amount of time that you don't eat. Don't eat or drink. It's good to start with the dry fast. But the water fast, I'll be honest, it's a different beast. You know, like you got to start off somewhere, and you got to work your way up, man. Because we about to come into the time to where you're gonna have to fast. There's not gonna be no food, no water, man. And and then you're might be bugging out off of that because you wasn't doing the proper necessaries right now. So when you get to that time to where the Lord needs you to do certain things or putting you through certain things, that you'll be able to pass that test. So what do you got?
This is Romans 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold unto sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. So Paul is showing us here that we need a spiritual gift to be able to resist the lust of this flesh. So we need spiritual interference to be ran. We can't fight this fight on our own running this race without help from above, from on high. So we have to get that strength from on high to be able to overcome the flesh. Lust and adultery, idolatry, greed, covetousness. And if we don't fear the Lord, he's going to give us over to the lust of our own heart. And that's a death sentence.
You see guys, right? You can tell they start listening to Satan too. Like they start listening to Satan. And Satan will overcome their minds and then will overcome their actions. So that's why they get ahead and leave the truth without saying nothing or doing bugged out things to where you gotta go. You gotta know.
Oh, this is 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. It says, for this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Yeah, his commandments are not grievous because they're spiritual. Not eating pork, not doing certain things on certain days. It keeps you back from killing yourself, honestly. Yeah. You know? And what? It says, this is life. We're giving, like the Lord is giving us life. He said he set in front of us life and death. You know? Can you get that real quick out the Deuteronomy 30?
Yep. Gotcha.
You know? Because that's the thing, man. You got life and death right in front of you, so you can choose and pick. You know? But the thing about it is, you know, nobody wants to pick death. You know, it seems you want to please the flesh now, but understand that it comes with a price to pay. It's too heavy to pay, man. You know?
This is Deuteronomy 30 and 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
Yeah, thou and thy seed may live, because the scripture says you will be able to save yourself and them that hear you. You know, so what? Choose life. And this thing of ours, it don't give you instant gratification. Like just because, right? The spirit probably be on you. It's the Sabbath. This one girl you've been trying to get with is hitting you up. Come through. Let's chill. Blah blah blah. And then something else is telling you like, no, don't go. And hey, it's better to pick that life choice to get ahead and stay home and leave that chick alone. And then you'll gain more spiritual riches later. You know, you won't get that instant gratification right then and there, right? Like the flesh would. You're going to see the chick, you know it's the Sabbath, or you wasn't supposed to, like something told you not to go see it. It don't even got to be the Sabbath. There's something told you not to go there, but you did it anyway, and you pleased. Yeah,
I got a testimony to back the brother up. This was a grown woman, and I know she had to be the devil, because her husband was deployed to war, and she was coming on to me hard, and she was like, you know, I don't tell my husband everything. But the spirit was on me like, hey, don't do it, man. This ain't worth it. You know? She was like, I don't tell him everything. And don't get me wrong, she was bad. But the spirit fearing the Lord more than what this woman was doing and coming on to me like that. You know, and I kind of thought about Joseph, where, you know, Pharaoh's wife was trying to come on to him. But really, these women got demons on them. And what they're trying to do is seduce you over to the dark side, to derail you and get you off the straight and narrow path. That's what they're doing. But they don't know that subconsciously there's a spirit on them to try to derail those that fear the Lord. Yep.
Yeah, but hey, you see, so the more we're able to teach our people life, that's what grieves the enemy. See, so that's why Esau is constantly putting out these things to censor us, take out videos, take our breakdowns down, you know, because we're feeding our people life, but Esau wants to feed our people death. So that's why we're looking to come into rulership, right? And we was going into yesterday how, like what, King David, he was on the run, because I looked it up. I tried to get the number of years he was running from Saul, but they already anointed him as king, but he was still running from Saul. And basically, because you see the process that David had to go to become king, so he could be a proper king, you know. And hey man, what even Saul, Elder Prashad was going into. But I know more about King David. King David, he was on the run, man, and that's why he got so many psalms, because he was singing unto the Lord. He was crying unto the Lord. I'll never forget. Oh man, let me look for it. Listen, he said, "How long, O Lord?" He said, "How long, O Lord? How long?" I never forget. I read that. I'm like, damn. You know how you be facing your spiritual downs? You be like, damn, yo. You start praying for that. You're like, "How long, O Lord? Hasten the day." I was like, man, you know, this day of atonement, man. Yeah, man, it was good, because you know our prayers pressed the clouds. Yep. So we're hastening the day for Yahweh Shah's coming. For Yahweh Shah's coming. So we could get ahead and do away with it. So we can step into the rulership. Can you get Sirach 10? Yeah, you know, the translation. I think it's the first verse. I'm not, or the second, or the fourth. But yeah, so right now you see what? Your true rulers. And these people are going to be happy. Right now, these people are mourning because they're wearing clothing that pollutes their body. They're breathing in air that pollutes their body. Everything is polluted here. Everybody's trying. You gotta pay to do things naturally nowadays. Yeah. What sense does that make? Why would you? You know, it seems like what's going on? It don't make no sense. What you gonna say?
All the holistic. That's what they call it. The holistic things like herbs and stuff. Man, that's like the most expensive thing ever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like going the natural route is very expensive for everything and anything. You know, good food costs a lot. Good herbs, you know, you want to take 3-4 different supplements, you got to find one that has all of it in it, because it'd be $30-40 a piece, and they give you like this much, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Living the right way is expensive in Esau society.
And you know what Esau does? He bans certain herbs that will heal us.
Certain fruits that will heal us.
Yeah. You know, that's why I said a lot of these jakes that don't want to see Esau go down. I can't wait for that day to come, for the Lord to expose you, because He's gonna expose these people outwardly, man. Yeah. You know, from the broad. Go ahead.
Hey, the brother was talking about how long King David was on the run. 10 years. So no man of the Lord is going to come out and say, "I'm Jeremiah, I'm Ezekiel, I'm King David." You know, that's just ridiculous. They're not a man of the Lord, and they're showing their fruits, that they're false. So this is Psalms 13:1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. How long wilt thou forget me, O Lord, forever? How long wilt thou hide thy face from me?
Yeah, and real quick, we all gonna have to face that solitude moment where they feel like the Lord forsook us. Yahweh Shai went through it, his disciples went through it. I was supposed to go over it when I was speaking to Zaquan Zionala about how the northern kingdom basically they felt forsaken. So that's why in Hosea, you see what at 5th chapter he said, I will go. He said, "I'm gonna be as them as a lion." Can you get that real quick, Nahman? 5th chapter, this is like the second to last verse. He said, "I'll be like," and then Judah too, because we were all messing up, man. You know, worshiping other gods. No, not worshiping Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And like what it's gonna say when you get it, Hosea 5. It's like the third to last verse.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Don't hold us so much.
It's a lot. We're gonna let the scripture speak. Give the spirit free course.
That's all right. 15?
Nah.
You can switch power supply if you want.
Do you need one?
Yeah.
That's it?
Right here.
Okay. This is Hosea chapter 5, verse 13. It says, "When Ephraim saw his sickness and Judah saw his wound, then went Ephraim to the Assyrians and sent to King Jeroboam. Yet could he not heal you, nor cure you of your wound."
Woo! So he went to the Assyrians for help. Just like what? And Jeremiah says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help," man. Yep. And you see what? There's nothing new under the sun. It's a reoccurring cycle of you going to help for over there, and you're not praying to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah.
Verse Verse 14, for I will be unto Ephraim as a lion, and as a young lion to the house of Judah.
Yeah, hey, it's at a young lion. So you know them young lions, they got a lot of energy, they're spontaneous, you know? Not like an old lion, where it's like he's gonna just sit around all day and chill. But as a young lion, tearing you up into pieces.
I will tear and go away. I will take away, and none shall rescue him.
It says he shall take away, and none shall rescue him. You know, but what he said, he's gonna tear you in pieces and then leave you alone.
15, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
Woo! Yo, you're gonna turn and pray. If you didn't went to somebody for help. They couldn't help you. Then you got beat up or torn to shreds spiritually, mentally, and now like now your mental's just all messed up. And now you know who's really telling you to turn to the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shah, and pray. Isaiah 55 and 6 or 7. What you got? You got something?
More on that. This is Psalms 13 and 1. How long wilt thou forget me, O Lord, forever? How long wilt thou hide thy face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me?
Yeah, and look, what is there's a curse. There's a curse that we said we shall walk with our hands swinging down low. You know, so that's what he said. He got sorrow in his heart daily, man. All of us do. Got to pay this bill, got to pay that. All right, I'm not gonna pay this bill right now. pay this, and then I'm gonna pay that. It's like it's annoying, man. We want to try to get ahead, but Esau has set barriers to where you can't get ahead, and you can't save money. You can't have a piece of land and grow your own food because the air is polluted. It's acid rain that comes down. It's like, yo, what the? You're just trying to find somewhere to win that, and you can't because Esau is constantly putting that roadblock. Not only for our people, for his people too. So how about that? So when we get into rulership, Esau, Edom, and all these other nations gonna love us. You know, the whole world is gonna be in righteousness and peace. What up?
War.
Dang, go ahead, you guys. What up?
You had Isaiah 50.
Yeah, 6, I think it is, or 7. Where it says turn to like 55.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. Sound like 56. This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 6. It says, seek the Most High Yahweh while he may be found.
Yep.
Call ye upon him while he is near.
Yep.
All right. 7, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Most High.
Yeah, see, you got to forsake those things. You know, so why we want to turn to the Lord now while he's near. Because when he goes away, it says there's going to be a famine in the word, man. People are going to be all up and down the east and the west coast, from the south to the north to the south, looking for this truth, looking for comfort. There's going to be a cry for wine in the streets. People are going to be looking for answers, but there's not going to be no answers because what? They turned a blind eye when they heard this word. And what the brothers was going into, they pulled the shoulder. So if you keep pulling the shoulder and then like, yo, I'm trying to tell you, like, don't keep walking down there. You're going to get hit by a damn bus. You keep walking, like, get off me. I got this. I'm going to dodge it. I know how to dodge. Not knowing, man, the Lord going to put some cinder block feet on your ass and get your ass smacked.
That's right.
You got something?
Got you, King. This is Lamentations 2, verse 10. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah. Read it against you.
This is Lamentations 2 and 10. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads.
That's a sign of mourning.
They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground.
Yeah, that's depression, man. That's going through the trials and tribulations that we go through daily. You know, got them getting parking tickets. Then forget about the parking ticket. They be like, hey, yo, pay this ticket because we're about to suspend your registration. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, then you didn't double the ticket. Now you kind of want to fight it. Like, man, let me see if I can The brothers to pray for me.
Or them speed cameras.
Yeah, the speed cameras.
You turn a corner a little too hard, they catch you. You're like,
Yeah.
damn, man, I wasn't even trying to speed.
You
Man.
just got me for $150. Talking about I'm red and red light. Damn.
Shit ain't right.
How's it go?
Shit is not right, man. This is hell. It's hell, man.
Feeble needs?
Yeah.
It's hey, like the scriptures call it the valley of the shadow of death. That's what America is, man.
But the top pedophiles, the Rothschilds, how often do you see them on the news? So I guess they're not doing anything wrong, right? The problem is they own the media. So you never hear about these pedophiles getting arrested or coming under investigation. They'll show you some poor so-called Native American, Negro, Latino getting beat up and arrested. This place is hell.
Yeah. This brother about to bring out one of the curses, man, because a lot of people don't even know, like, that's a curse from the Lord.
Yep.
You know, so look, we gotta suffer these things just so we can make it to the kingdom. But it's all gonna be a part of your works, and then it's ultimately gonna build up your faith.
Right.
You know, and it's gonna be drilled in you so good. Oh, we didn't get it. Revelations, the seventh chapter.
Gotcha.
You know, it talked about the sealed ones.
Yeah.
You know.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 66. It says, oh, okay. Might as well read 65.
All right.
It says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Most High shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
Man, the whole body is just breaking down. Your mind, your feet, you know, and you just constantly got to work. It says, we're not here to be at ease. 6 talk about it.
66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
Hey, as soon as the police pull behind you, you tense up, like, even though you're not even doing anything wrong, it's like, we about to see what the fuck this bastard's about to do, man.
Yeah.
And thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
Yeah, we ain't got no insurance on our life, but these so-called white people do. You know, you get to walk through the barrios without being touched. You get to walk through, like the brother brought out earlier. You get the so-called white man gets to walk through the hoods without being touched. It's totally, they can just do whatever.
Yeah.
But with us, you can't do that. You better not go over there. you better not. You know, you should fear.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
To my Edom, my oppressor.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
lived.
Yeah, I think it's Job.
Yeah, it's Job 21 and start 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, or mighty in power? Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes.
Yeah, look, they get to save money. They got generational wealth, so they get to save money, get pay for their penthouse, have their college tuition going. You know, save up. What was the brother had mentioned? They basically save 6 months worth of rent, and then go into an apartment. Like, yo, that's a big, massive head start. But for us, man, we gotta struggle, have 2 jobs, work 3 jobs. That was one time I was working 3 jobs. The nighttime job, the daytime job, and the side hustle. Whenever you could get ahead and get that money, man. You know, because it's we got, hey, the scriptures talk about we got pockets with holes in them. Just putting money in there, car insurance went up. Like, yo, you didn't even say anything? You're gonna just like, oh, by the way, $500. Like, yo, who got that, man? You know?
I'm gonna back you up. This is Psalm 73 and 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
Yeah, they're not plagued like us. They're not plagued like us. They what's that? What's that name? Not like us. They ain't plagued like us, man. Hey, they're not plagued like us. Hell no, man. Hey, the trials and tribulations. I don't care what Edom got to say. There's no way. It says basically there's no nation that has been through what we've been through. Roughly paraphrasing. Yeah. That's what the scriptures talk about. How like our people been through the worst, and we're still here. We're still striving. We still got the Spirit of the Lord, and that's one thing that scares Esau, right? He spent millions of dollars trying to hide this truth, years of trying to hide this truth, but yet the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai have given it to us, you know. So it's an honor to hold this torch, this light, you know, this Spirit, you know. Right. It goes to show you that we love grieving the enemy because he loves grieving us, man. Throwing hella tickets at us, you know. Putting these stupid shows out there to get ahead and trick the minds of these people. You know, got your women watching these stupid ass shows too. So then you got to battle that shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a constant fight everywhere you go, from work, from the traffic, to the to the home. It's like, man, you know, but then you come here, you get the Spirit of the Lord, it lifts you up. Because it says 2 or 3 gathered in the midst, there I am, man. So the Lord, he will renew
Only
you.
in America.
Yeah, only in America.
I got you, King.
Just like you were mentioning that you got to struggle. The scripture tells you got to fight the good fight of faith. You know, there is no break fighting the good fight of faith. You know, because at the end of the day, you have to realize that the Messiah put you here to have an edge. You know, the Messiah is going to put you on an edge that you cannot be comfortable. You know, even going to sleep, you don't know what's going to happen to your neighbor next door that you care about. You don't know what's going to happen to the folks that you don't even care about. So it's basically, you know, your mind's not going to be at ease. Just like the curses, you know, it's to help you remember that you got work to do. The curse doesn't tell you that, you know, you got to be comfortable. No one else. It tells you that you're going to have to be put in an uncomfortable position to continue to call upon the Lord. The scripture doesn't tell you that you're going to be upset and you're going to keep silent. It says you're going to yell out to the Lord for deliverance. And that's what we're doing. Because your faith requires action. When you're oppressed, there has to be a reaction to it. You know, and how do you react? It's with the words of the Lord. You know, because you can't continue to be in that state of compression over and over and over. You gotta let the steam out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I got a scripture. This is Job 16, right? Because he said you can't be in that spirit of woe is me. Of course, I was talking about it, but there's a balance to life to where you got to understand that Yahweh Shai is here for a reason. And hey, that's the only comfort that we have is in Yahweh Shai. This is John 16, verse 33. It says, "These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace." So in Yahweh Shai, we only have peace, man. Everything else is none and void. So that's why, who is my mother? Who is my father? You know? Them that do the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So we got peace in the brothers. Because there's a piece of Yahweh Shai within the brotherhood. You know? So that's the only place we get peace. So if you feeling down, feeling depressed or whatever, you got to have an action plan. What are you planting? What are you watering? Because the things that you keep going over in your mind, that's what you're going to believe in. So if you believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you will want to get your reps in. So you get more comfortable with, like, going through that pain, that suffering, that hurt, you know? I'll finish it all. It says, "In me you might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." So we can overcome the world by Yahweh Shai, man. You know, just pray to him, because he said he have created things in heaven and on earth, man. So everything that we go through, we just pray to Yahweh Shai for, because what? All those demons, all these cars, all of this stuff was created from Yahweh Shai, man. It was all from the blueprint from Yahweh to give it to Yahweh Shai to get ahead and fulfill those tasks. You know? So that's why we're out here to tell our people, like, look, even though you go through these things, it's okay. Yeah. You know? It's going through your purging, it's going through your purification. But the apostles like to bring out Mel Gibson, Braveheart. Oh. Yeah, because at the end of Braveheart, he spoiler alert, you know, at the end of Braveheart, they was about to kill him. But they all went to war. I'm not sure if they lost. But I'm not sure. But I know they was gonna kill him they did?
Yeah, they did. Cut his head off.
Yeah, and he's like, yo, they gonna give you this potion so you don't feel the pain. He was like, nah, I wanna feel it. I was like, ooh. Yeah. You know, so these type of movies should like gear you up to wanna be what? It says be as a good soldier. Endure hardness as a good soldier, man. Endure what? To take. Well, one of the definitions I remember is to take cheerfully, you know. And then in James, can you get that in James, whatever that wrote upon? I think James 2:1. You know, you gotta take these things on with a spiritual mindset and not a fleshly mindset. Because if you come in and stepping into this thing with a fleshly mindset, you're gonna think about the pain. You can't think about the pain. You know, even though it's there, but you got to keep your eyes on your Yahweh Shai, and that's been going around for a while. It's basically having your eyes on your Yahweh Shai so you don't sink. You know, because when Peter, he was walking on water, But then when the waves started getting a little choppy, he looked and he started sinking. So that's the same thing with us. It's like you start to get a little too fleshly, you start drowning. Like, nah, yo, look at your Howard Shah, you'll raise back up. You know. Yep.
This is James 1,
Oh, one.
verse 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations.
Yeah, you count it all joy because what? The Lord is putting you through a situation to where you can learn from, you can build from. You know? Like the word purification. Damn. Can you get that word? Can you look at that word? Purge. You know? We're in our purging process so we can be kings. You know? Like I was going into King David. King David was going through that purification to where what? He could be nice and humble and meek so he could judge the people correctly.
Yep.
You know? Now, you look, see, and that's the thing, man. You got these drive-by scoffers out of order, marking themselves for death, not even knowing that what we're doing in here is deadly serious. You know, and whole time she's probably Ethiopian, but it's like this is not for you. You're gonna be like you're gonna be like unhospitable. You know.
You'll never see my wife coming by here telling us what we need to do. Ain't gonna happen.
Holding up the traffic.
Right. Ain't gonna happen.
That's why the Lord tells you, you gotta be circumspect, man. You gotta be circumspect in these last days and times because the trap is just so many. If you're not patient in the spirit, if you're ruled by your flesh, if you're quick to get angry, you're gonna fall in quick, man. Because there's so much out here that could mess up your plan, with Yahweh Shema Shai. That's why you have to exercise that spirit of patience, that spirit of consistently checking yourself, whether you're on point or not. You always got to look into your actions at any point in time to make sure that nobody comes and pulls you off track. Because, it pisses you off when you're speaking the word of the Lord and somebody comes around and then you lose your train of thought. Now you have to gather yourself back together. So, it's through experience you understand that you have to learn how to ignore what's going on around you and focus on the facts, which is the scriptures.
This is Ephesians 5 verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. And the word circumspect, circum, right? It means circle, and then spect means to see. So, like with the 360, you gotta be with a ready spiritual mind, so you can see when Satan's coming to attack. You can see, but Zaquan Menashe went into, like basically you have to see these things, but it'll be hard for you to see if you don't have a good routine, a schedule, or agenda. What's it called? Itinerary. It'll be hard to see if you don't have these things to get ahead and keep you on track.
There was just a little morning. James 1 and 2. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
Yeah, and that's what it's working your patience, so you can become more of a lively. I was thinking about it earlier. You become a more polished, lively stone. So you be able to, when we go to different other camps, you'll be able to fit right in, versus that jagged. Our righteousness is that whole time one's looking at you like that. Like once you start sinking, man, it's hard to come up sometimes, man. But you got to be a good cheer. The Lord has overcome this world, so that's why we're out here to preach to our people. Which preaching means goes back to the good news. There's good news, man. Even though we're sick, we're cursed, and Esau's ruling, we still got Yahweh Shah on our side to overcome the world. And that's what Esau really hates, is us to see, us to give our people hope. That sense of hope will get ahead, and that hope, that seed of hope. It says the faith the size of a mustard seed, you'd be able to move mountains, man. So that's what we're out here to do, was to plant those seeds in the elect. Oh, we got to get that revelation. The water, get here, read that.
Revelation 7:1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth.
And those winds are the thermonuclear missiles.
That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God.
It's talking about Yahweh Shai.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
Right, so can you give and then that when you go into that word seal, one of the definitions is the we gotta get in there. But basically it's
I got it.
Go ahead.
You want sealed?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you read it.
This is sealed in the Greek, Strong's G 4972. Spartagizo, to set a mark, a seal for security from Satan.
Ooh, it said you're gonna have a mark and have a security from Satan. So that's what we're doing. We're out here to seal the ones that's chosen. Because not everybody's sealed. And some of them don't even want to be sealed.
This is heavy. To prove one's testimony.
Woo, okay, Yahweh Shai came out here to bless us, right?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So right now, that's why we're preaching the kingdom. Keep going.
That was it.
Oh, not I think it was because towards the end it said like the number 1 to confirm the
to confirm, authenticate, place beyond doubt.
Yeah, see,
Wow.
so look, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
this, and one of them, because you got to, it said authenticate, that basically to authenticate to basically to assure that that is what that person had written. You know, so we got to, so Yahweh Shai came up with this testimony, right, to give us the good news so we could get ahead and strive to please Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So what? Now we got the mark, you know, those were we are the mark ones, to have that security from Satan. Keep going. There's a little, oh, you already dropped it, but
Yeah,
it's
that
all
was it,
good.
bro. Want
But
me to read it again?
Yeah, because it's like that, towards
Fine.
the end, it started getting real good.
It says, to confirm, authenticate, place beyond doubt, a written document
There we go.
to prove one's testimony to a person that he is what he professed to be.
Yeah, so that's what we're out here, to tell the ones that what Yahweh Shai came to for the remissions of sins, so we can reconcile with Yahweh, right? Because we're not able to go ahead and go straight to Yahweh. We got to go through Yahweh Shai, and that's a stumbling block for a lot of people. So right, we're out here to get ahead and prove his testimony, what he has said is true, from thousands of years ago that this was written on, you know?
This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Most High said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
And you know what's spiritual? Is it says go through the midst of Jerusalem. We're not in Jerusalem, but it's spiritual, right? We're only talking to our people, so we're going through the midst of our people. We're not out here talking to Esau. Of course, sometimes we'll get ahead and talk to them for edification's sake, but through the midst of our people, so we can set the mark upon them. And that word mark goes back to the word tawaf, which means exempt from judgment. So that's what we're constantly fighting for, to be exempt from judgment. But now that we got this seal, now that we got this this torch, this flame, this fire, we got to get ahead and keep feeding it so it could grow, you know? Yeah, can you go to Psalms 37? Because this is the thing, I said to grow, right? 37:4, I believe.
Which one?
He's going to get it, Psalms 37.
Okay.
We get his feet off of whatever we look at. That's what
The
he
desires of thine heart.
tells us. Yeah, yeah. Can you start up a verse?
This is Psalm chapter 37, verse 3. Trust in the Most High and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed.
Yeah, and that's basically talking about comfort. You know, you're gonna be able, when you dwell with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, you'll be fed, because it says, come to the waters and buy without price. You know, basically you're being hydrated right now. Like the brother had mentioned earlier, the Shaw, the brother right here. See, I mentioned that our people are dry. They don't got no moisture. So right, it says, so now you get the comfort, you get the water, you get the hydrate. And you're not about to fucking die. You know, the Lord is stretching out His hand. He's giving you a cup of cold water.
Destination archive. The base fare is $2.
This is the hell we gotta catch, man. This is the hell. We don't live in hell. All this noise, you can't even. It's hard in certain places. You can't laying on your bed. It's hard to go to sleep because all of the goddamn noise is outside. That's outside.
Verse 4. Delight thyself also in the Most High, and He shall give thee the desires of thine heart.
Yeah, so you gotta desire what? The spiritual gifts. Right? Paul had mentioned that you can have all those spiritual gifts, but rather that you prophesy. Because prophecy is what's really going to wake our people up. Because we're saying something that didn't happen yet. So when it does happen, they can increase their faith. Like, nah, that gotta be the man of the Lord. That's a messenger right there, you know. So that's how we know, like throughout trials and tribulations, the ones that's behind on this side, you know, through certain brothers, man, you know that message is real. Because when you don't listen to that message, the Lord will jack you up, and then like, you know, brothers look at you, they give you that look like, yeah, I told you so. They don't say, the spirit has it to where the spirit plays balance. Sometimes you gotta say something to a brother, like I told you so type of deal. And then sometimes you already know, like, yeah, he'll work it out. He is a man of the Lord, and that's what it's about. Now give this to the brothers that's listening and whoever's listening from what I was taught. It's like no matter whatever happens, man, just keep pushing the truth, keep the faith, man. You know, this, but like what we're getting ready to come up to, not only like Esau's gonna come up against us, our own families. There's gonna be brothers that betray brothers. You know, but what you got one thing you gotta believe is just to keep believing in your How About Shemi Awashai and don't let go. Because your adversary, not only Esau, like I said, but like your family members, they're gonna try to get you, because they might hem you up. Like just how they did that building, they might hem you up with that building type shit. And like they got your family pointing guns at them, like, yo, denounce the Lord, take the chip, or whatever. And then you might, you know, you be like, they're trying to cause you to basically to take the chip or denounce the name of the Lord. But you gotta fight those things and constantly fight. And like he's like one Manasha had mentioned, like what to fight this good fight of faith. This is a great fight, you know, and this is a fight worth fighting.
Right.
You said a lot of brothers are dry. We got a scripture to back you up. This is Isaiah 55:1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price.
Yeah, and that's talking about comfort, man. Because you know when you're hungry and or thirsty, that's the only thing you can think about until you get it, until you're satisfied and stop. Because we all went through the Day of Atonement. You know, you couldn't wait for that sun to go down. Like, I can't wait to grab. You thinking about this mint meal. I'm gonna get this to drink. I'm gonna have this prepared. You know, it's the same thing for, you know, from the scriptures standpoint. It says, man and somebody, can we get that? We shall not live by bread alone only, but everybody.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you know, so that's why what? Hey, to take heed of these words and gather as much. You got it.
This is Matthew 4, verse 4. This is Yahushua speaking. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Yeah, so Yahushua said, if you hearken unto these words, you be considered as a wise man. You know, so what we want to take these words as much as we can and gather up as much as we can, because we understand that that's what carries us through our trials and tribulations. So remember these words, the car. The Hebrew word for remember is the car. You know, so we constantly want to go over these things. Hey, repetition, man. That repetition word can keep coming out. You want to keep repetition, like, not repetition, but you want to keep going over these things so it'll be with it embedded inside your brain. It's like the show, Dr. Oyo is basically like muscle memory. You know, you're doing it without even knowing. You know, it's like getting into a car, putting your seatbelt automatically. Like you're not even thinking about it, but you just do it. You got it. It's okay. You know.
And see, that's why King David said he's never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Because this wisdom is preserving us. It's going to nourish and sustain us in the times of trouble and famine. But if you're only living for those things, the Lord is going to cause you to be dried up with thirst and famine, death. So you're already dead, so it's just going to manifest itself because of your lack of faith and fear.
So like, yeah, so we want to desire wisdom because wisdom is going to preserve you, like they brought out earlier. We constantly want to desire wisdom because not only they preserve you, you're able to gain. Because what King Solomon had prayed for wisdom, right? And he was able to gain riches, women, and things of that nature. But you got to understand, since we're in this place, we got to understand balance. So it says, can you get that Proverbs 11:1?
Yep.
You know, we got to understand balance, so we know like pull back out of the world because the world is an entanglement. As soon as you step into the world, you got to be able to get out. It will hold you, you know, keep you. It will hold you. You know, you kind of don't want to leave. You had laid up with your women and stuff. Probably, you know, rock the world or whatnot. And then, you know, now it's time to go to work. You know, now it's time to break loose. But it'd be kind of hard to leave. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. You know, breaking forth from the entanglement of this world. You know.
This is Proverbs 11, verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
Yeah, a just weight is his delight. You gotta understand that as soon as you start being unbalanced, the Lord's gonna check you on it. You know? To where you don't sin too much, to where you totally messed up. But some people, they're not able to catch that, and they keep going into, they keep digging into their sin. So now they add iniquity on top of iniquity on top of iniquity, and the Lord be like, all right, get away from, I'm done with you, man. So hey, it's crazy. I've been in this thing for a while, right? And you see the dudes, they know all the scriptures, they know a lot of breakdowns, they know a lot of history, but their body, their spirit is not able to contain or hold on. Because a trial will come to where they're not able to overcome that trial. You know, so a lot of this stuff, it's a mental fight, which is spiritual. But the more mental strength that you get, the more spiritual gifts that you get. But you gotta be able to understand balance and understand correction when it comes. That's why it's good to listen to the brotherhood, man. Because the spirit of the Lord is guiding you, man. Oh, what did it say? The elders watch for your souls.
Yeah.
Can you get that?
This is Psalms chapter 37, verse 5. It says, commit thy way unto the Most High. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass.
Yeah, trust in him will bring it to pass that you'll be able to be saved, man. That's why this truth is more precious than fine gold. Because gold, silver, jewels, ruby won't be able to save you in that time of trouble. But this wisdom, this knowledge from pleasing the Lord, you will be able to be saved. Right? Yeah,
gotcha. Hebrews 13, verse 17. Obey them that have rule over you.
Obey, man. It says obey is better than sacrifice. So if you don't listen, the Lord's gonna check you. And then we see that time and time again. Dudes come in here, or the elders might say something to somebody, or even a shaw or a brother will say something to an individual. They don't listen, never see that individual again. And I'd be like, I don't know how they could do that. You know, it says turn from your wicked ways, and you'll be saved, man. You'll be able to save your life. We read that in Isaiah 55, 6 or something like that. Keep this morning.
Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you.
Yeah, death is unprofitable. But what? We do it with joy. Because we read earlier, whatever, basically you fall into diverse temptations, we take cheerfully. Right? So that's why we know to have, you can't always have fun, because the scriptures talk about a righteous man scarcely smile, or a wise man scarcely smiles.
Right.
So, of course we have fun with this thing sometimes here and there, but it's a balance, So that's why we're watching for the souls. All right. Read that last verse.
This is Psalms chapter 37, verse 5. Commit thy way unto the Most High. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass.
Yeah, so we're looking for the translation to where the one kingdom is going to be translated to another. We're going to, Lord's will, we're the next rulers. So, we're going to Quadash and face the east, and we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem Kodesh.
Of course, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to rule well. Shalom salutations to the brothers out there pushing the word in sincerity and truth. And then shalom to the elect out there. Peace.
Shalom.